What's happening, y'all? This is Tyler Wilson with another episode of Elevate Your Game. Today we have NBA trainer, former college athlete, the miracle man himself, Mr. Cory Smith.
Yes, sir. You know it's your boy. Yes, go.
Welcome
Let me
to
lay
the
that
show.
up.
Hey,
Yes, sir, my
yes,
boy.
sir. Yes, sir. We love to start this show off with the wall of hoop movies. Your favorite hoop movie of all time and why?
I would definitely have to go with Space Jam, because as a kid, you know, I was really a Kobe fan, but that movie with Jordan and the Looney Tunes and all that stuff, I was just like, and the music was catchy.
Man, that soundtrack
That
was
sound
fire,
was
man.
OD.
You hit him out, hit him out, hit him
I was
out.
what? Boy, I know I don't know, but that I believe that boy, I was singing that in the shower till
No, we don't sing R. Kelly no more.
Respect. We'll move on from that.
No,
Respect.
but that soundtrack was crazy.
It was.
The movie. What Looney Tune do you identify with the most? Who were you in the show?
I'll go with Bugs, and here's why. I learned when I got in high school. It really showed me how to be a leader, how to be a leader on and off the court, by leading by example of making sure my grades, homework everything's done on time, making sure my teammates are running to the facility. So in our school, we had like the cafeteria, classes all over the place, right? It was a big school, but we had to know, and our coach was like, yo, y'all gotta be here when the second bell rings. Y'all gotta be on the court, dressed, ready to roll. No excuses. So we had to sprint. We sprint through everybody. Making sure everybody's here. Hey, this is your job. This is your job. And so I learned that I have to be a leader for my group to succeed. And so I know Bugs in that movie was a leader for that group. And so that's why I say I resume myself as.
I thought you were gonna say you give people the wrong kind of drinks and say it's something else, but I'm glad
Hey,
you
man.
don't do that, brother.
Hey, man.
We gonna have fun today, yo.
Hey, yo.
This is the little OG, man.
Come on, man.
Just a little history. Me and Cory, man, we met each other 5 years ago. How long has it been?
September 2019.
So, man, that's like 5 years ago. 4 years ago. 4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah.
And, man, we're immediately brothers, man.
For sure.
Immediately.
For sure.
And, man, it's been a blessing to know you and see your growth,
dog.
man, through this time.
Man, I
For
appreciate you
brother.
always.
So,
Yes,
thanks
sir.
for blessing the show, man.
Come on, man.
So, first question is, when did you fall in love with basketball?
I first fell in love with basketball when my dad put a ball in my crib, right? I felt like that's the only thing I knew growing up was basketball. And what happened was when he put the little Tikes goal up and stuff like that, I didn't know how to shoot it. So I was just throwing it. And then when he showed me, hey, you got to do it like this. And I was like, oh. And then he started showing me games on like old school, like Magic, Elgin Baylor. And that's how I fell in love with the Lakers. He started showing me games of Showtime and this. And I was like, oh, like this is how basketball is. And then it was a phase where we stopped watching the Lakers. Then we went to Bulls, Jordan, this. And then after that, I was like, oh, I'm set. Basketball it is, no matter what. So I would definitely say around 4 years old, 5 years old is when I just, okay, basketball's it. That's it. That's what I want. I'll try other things, but basketball's my true love.
And then so from 4 years old, you grew up in Texas.
Yes, sir. Now let's get it straight. League City, Texas, represent your city. Come on, man. I gotta represent my city.
Exactly. No, we have a lot of LA people coming here, and like you can't say you're from LA if you're from the Valley.
Exactly.
And so
I can't say I'm from Houston, Texas, even though I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm from League City, Texas. For my city, I stand up. You know what I'm saying? I gotta represent.
All right, so from that 4 years old, how does the youth sports work in League City or in Texas?
In League City, we all started off most of us started off in YMCA. YMCA was really big back then, and so we had our little club teams. You'll sign up, and then I think 2 or 3 weeks later, I have to ask my parents, but they'll send you a list of kids that you have, and then they'll have like a meeting spot where you meet. The parents are like, hey. Do group emails back then. I don't know if it was text message or whatever it was. And they'll meet, and then we'll meet everybody, and then we'll just start having practices. So you don't know who you're gonna have. It was like a draft. Like my daddy my dad didn't even know he was gonna have me or my sister when we was very young on the same team. It was just selected, and so Luckily, he picked me up, or it'd been really weird. But yeah, so they selected different kids, and then so that's when I figured out like, okay, I don't know none of these people, but I'm just gonna learn how to play basketball.
Yeah.
And so it was actually fun because now I'm learning how people move, and I was young, so I really didn't understand anything, but I made a lot of new friends off just meeting random people, and that also helped me just learn how to just be me. I wasn't really shy when I was young. I was just, hey, what's your name? Hey, who's this? Hey, and basketball helped me with that. Basketball helped me at a young age, and I didn't realize it until now about how communication works.
Yep.
And communication can be nonverbal, verbal, and so being with that and interactions and being with that, doing with that, I was just like, oh, I can be a good communicator.
Yeah, no, youth sports, man, is the key to a lot of confidence and, like you said, communication skills, working together, teamwork, all those little things. Just even if you don't like sports yourself, man, put your kids in sports.
Facts.
Because they're gonna
learn
get
some
character skills. Yeah, that's gonna help the rest of their life.
Exactly.
And you're the same person now. You going to everybody know when Cory walk into the gym, he there. That's for sure.
That's a fact.
So your dad was your first coach.
Yes,
What was
my
that
dad.
experience like? How long did he coach you for?
He coached me until I was in, I want to say 5th grade. 5th grade, he stopped because I went to this team called Houston Hoops.
Okay.
And I worked with, it was me, my friend KJ, my friend Joe Burton, and we all played with this team called Houston Hoops. And when we was with the Houston Hoops, we used to travel everywhere. National
it's the
tournaments.
AAU team
Yeah,
now,
AAU
so-
team.
Uh-huh.
And so he let me free. He was like, yeah, you're going to go play with them. And then after that, I went to another organization called Franchise All-Stars. And we played when I was in 8th grade.
So this is all through middle school now.
In middle school.
So I wanted to talk about the elementary development. What types of things was your dad showing you? Did you have a trainer? What was basketball development? Now you as a player developer, right? What was basketball development like for you in the early foundational stages?
Man, I remember my dad when I first started playing basketball. It was me and him just going outside, and I had to play him in ones. He'll teach me how to dribble, then I gotta go try to score. It wasn't really like development. I was just, how do I dribble here? How do I get here? And so he was really challenging my mind, like, I want to beat you. And so he would make me, I'll literally go inside, cry, tell my mom he cheating, this and that. But what it taught me was how to be competitive, and it taught me how to actually solve problems. And so I'm learning and developing how to dribble, how to go between the legs, how to cross. Even though he steals everything I did and block every shot I put up, I'm still learning, okay, how do I get my shot up? Okay, how do I? Yep. And so that was the development for me. Until later on, then I got into skills and learning how to actually get to spots and all this ball handling. But when I was growing up, when he first taught me, he didn't even teach me really how to shoot. He was just teaching me how to finish, how to do crossovers between the legs, but he never let me win. I don't think I beat my dad until, I want to say, high school, middle school.
Did he stop playing you after you beat him?
Yes, for sure. He said it was a wrap.
That's usually
a wrap.
it. That's good. No, that, like you said, it taught you competitiveness and that you got to fight for everything. Ain't nobody gonna give you anything on the court. So, in your development, so you went to Houston Hoops, right? That's pretty good, big AAU program.
Yeah, that's like one of the big foundation.
It's still going on today. Do you know?
Or is it I don't want to say that it is if it isn't, but I think so.
Okay. All right. So back then in middle school, I know in Texas, these communities, you play with guys pretty much like almost all the way up to when you get to high school, pretty much. Was that the case for you?
So for AAU, we was from all different types of the city of Houston. So I had some in, Lake City represent. We had some in people from Beaumont, people from Clear Lake. We had people from south side of Houston, north side of Houston. And so we all like merged to different teams and stuff. So I never really got to play with them in high school. I played with a couple guys in high school that was on my AAU team, but those are the ones that lived by me.
Gotcha.
And so, but we didn't get to like, hey, we're going to all link up and move together and get to play each other. Now, I wish we could have done that. It would have been really cool. But I got to play with a couple of guys in high school, which was really cool. But pause that. That was really crazy what I just said. But yeah, I was able to played basketball with a couple guys, and it was fun for the 4 years we played together. Pause.
Dope. So y'all got to know me and Cory's relationship, y'all. Please disregard these moments. So middle school. So you said you traveled around Texas, or you traveled around the country playing? Were you guys playing on the national level then?
We were playing on the national level. We went to San Diego. We went to Arkansas. We went to Mississippi. Where else we go? We went to a whole bunch of just regular tournaments until we got to the national tournament. But we definitely played, and then we played in Orlando a couple times.
For the
AAU Nationals.
Do you remember any players that you played against now that are in the league, or
I played against Justice. I used to play against Justice all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they used to kick our butts. I hated that. We used to play against Justice. I played against what's his name? I played against De'Aaron once because he played up one tournament. But that's pretty much most of the guys. Oh, and Andrew and Anderson. Andrew and Andrew.
The twins.
Yeah. Aaron and Andrew. I played against them all the time. And we played against them in high school.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you guys are...
Yeah, so I played against them a lot.
Got you. So playing in that competitive environment and then stepping into high school, let me ask this. When did you get serious about your development? I'm going to let you tell the story, but I'm going to give it a little preview here. You were one of the higher ranked players coming into high school.
Yes.
So when did you flick that switch to hey,
and
you recognize, that, and you recognize that you were one of the, better players?
I realized that when I was a freshman in high school, that I made a decision with myself. I said, okay, hey, because I had a practice and I played really good, pretty good. But then I realized when I was playing against the guys I was playing against, I'm like, yo, in my head, why am I not playing like I need to play? I put too much work in. I put too many hours. I put more hours probably in than them. And so I told myself, it's now or never. I'm not trying to put pressure on myself, but I know that I am not playing to my full potential. And so let's max out. Just max out. And I learned that I can't max out for a whole year. I just got to max out in that moment, in that second, in that minute, and learn not to play with fear anymore. And so that was my biggest thing. Okay, what if somebody else, or what if this person? I was done with friend ball, right? When I'm on the court, it's business now. And I learned how to turn my mindset from having fun with the homies and stuff like that to anytime I touch the court, it's business.
What introduced you to that? That sounds like something that somebody has a, kind of light a fire inside you for. So where did that come from?
So it was one of my friends. Me and KJ used to play once all the time. And so when we went to different schools, but we used to play against each other. And when we was playing against each other, me and him went at it, and his team won, and I was pissed. Because, when we go back to AAU, man, we beat y'all. I hate that. I hate losing. That's one of my pet peeves. I hate losing. And so after we lost that game, I knew, okay, that's it. Whatever I got to do to win, I'm going to do it. And so he put a fire under me from that point on. I'm done losing at all. I hate losing. I'm going to find a way to win.
That's the best kind of friends, man.
He pushed me. He pushed me to a new limit. And I was like, okay, bet.
Yes. No, that competitive, it feels like sometimes in this new generation, that competitive punch is missing, right? Where they one of your best homies is the one who lit a fire for you to be great and to step outside your comfort zone and become who you are now. So after that transition from being, like you said, fun with the homies to being it's my time. What if I'm a fly on the wall looking at Cory in the gym during training, what am I seeing?
Training right now?
No, back then when I was when you that flicks, that
when we're training, I'm so locked in. I'm paying attention to every single detail. I wish back then if I told myself I would ask more questions because I was just doing it. And I didn't understand really why, but I was able to translate it in the game. And I was really focusing on shooting because I was really one of the best shooters, on my team, in my city, knockdown. Could not leave me open.
And your dad taught you how to shoot?
Mm-mm. later on, when I got to high school is when I really learned how to perfect my shooting. That was
Got it.
with Chris Johnson.
Gotcha.
And so, and I'm going to give him his credit. Credit is due. But once I really got with him, and because my dad stopped kind of training me and Chris kind of took over, I met Chris, I think, when I was in elementary because I was a ball boy for the high school team.
Oh, okay.
And so I met him 5th grade, and he'd been with me 6th, 7th, 8th, and I just grew up just around him, around Clear Springs, the school I went to, and learning from him and watching him train and watching him do this. And then from there, and when I lost to KJ, I was like, Chris literally, from then on, he pushed me like, yo, this is what we're doing. This is the plan. And as soon as he gave me the game plan, I say less. This is what we're doing. So after we lost that freshman game, we did not lose one more game that season.
Wow.
No more. That was it. Because we knew we're the best team, and I knew exactly what we needed to do. They gave me the game plan.
It takes strong character and mindset to decide,
Yes.
I'm about to do this and really give your all. What did your parents instill in you that created that inside of you? Because I think a lot of kids want this. They're like, yo, I'm going to the NBA. I want to do this, and they get in the gym, but that effort's not there. That mindset's not there. What did your parents instill into you, and what advice would you give a kid in that situation right now?
What my parents instilled in me was self-discipline. Number one thing, because it was more so of they'll say, hey, you need to get this done by the end of the week, or you can't do what you want to do. You can't, we're not going to take you here, we're not going to take you there, right? So it wasn't like, they weren't like on me like boom, boom, boom. Like they'll just say at the end of the week, hey, did you get this done? Okay, you can't go. And there's no discussion, right? So they put tasks on me to make sure I get stuff done, but they didn't like hold my hand. And once I learned that, like, oh, it's on me to do what I want to do. Like nobody's really holding me back but me. And so I knew that from, hey, when I do my, okay, I know I got to do this. Hey, I know I need to do this. Hey. And once I figured out that I control what I can control, my whole mind was set up like, okay, I need to do this so I can do this. I need to do this. And so then I started just planning things out. Like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I get there. This is what I need to do. So if I was a young kid now, what I would tell them is control what you can control, and I would plan out your plan. You can't just talk about the end goal if you don't have small goals in between. Like, let's say this, it's 2024, right? And everybody say, hey, these are what I'm gonna do this year. How are you gonna get there?
Yep.
Okay, what's the first step? Okay, how are you gonna accomplish that first step? So now you gotta figure out, okay, what questions do I need to ask myself to get there? And so being able to be real with yourself and understand your plan and your path to get to where you want to be is one of the biggest things I've learned.
Yes.
When I was young, I'm like, okay, I actually got to plan this out. I can't just say, hey, I'm gonna get here. Okay, how am I gonna get here? You know, first you pray and you thank God for every day. Then after that, you get to work.
100%.
You get to work.
No, that's my biggest thing. That's the name. Todd has a plan because that's how I've built everything that I've built. By the grace of God, first and foremost, he's given the vision, he's given the relationships,
Exactly.
all of that. And then understanding how to get to where you want to be is, hey, I have this goal. What daily action does it take for me to reach this goal? And now I got to put it into my calendar. What does that look like? That means every morning I'm waking up at 6 a.m. and I'm shooting. I'm getting my shots up because in hoop, if I can shoot, that's it. And so no matter what, that's what I'm doing at 6 a.m. Hey, I want to get, I want to become a better student.
Yeah.
That means no matter what, whether I'm finished with my homework or not, I'm putting an extra 30 minutes of studying in every day at 5:30 p.m.
Yep.
And because I know I have that space. You have to literally schedule out even
Yes.
your idle time. Like, hey, this 30 minutes, I'm chilling, playing video games, not doing anything.
Yep.
That way you're consistent and you're going to get to your goal,
Consistency.
whatever it is. So
And so here's a story. When I was a sophomore in high school, this is when everything turned up, right? And coach was like, hey, I need you to meet me at the gym, Chris. And we started pool workouts. I said, pool workouts? At 4:30 in the morning, pool workouts. It's cold. I'm like, man. But, I told my dad, I said, hey, Dad, I can't drive. Hey, I got to get at the gym at 4:30. Coach Chris said I got to be at the gym at 4:30. We got pool workouts. We did pool workouts for about an hour. Dried off, put our shoes on. Then we shot for an hour. Okay? It's about 6:37. School starts at 7:30. Got rest Monday through Friday. And that was my off season. Then we had fifth period workouts. Then at the fifth period workouts, at the end of the day, if we'll have open gym or whatever, then after that, we'll go to practice. So it's not about how long you do it. It's about what do you do in the time that you have. Yeah. And learning how to manage time, Chris definitely taught me that. He taught me this is what we're doing when I'm talking about the plan. But when I'm talking about those 4:30 morning pool workouts, when it's, I got to get up, the non-negotiables, that changed me to who I am now. Yeah. I got to do it. There's no negotiation. I can't negotiate with myself. When I learn how to negotiate with myself, I lose that day.
Man, no, thank you for that. It's important to see that somebody, when you were that young, right? Because I think a lot of kids think their parents are supposed to do it. Right. But every kid that I know that went to the higher level, a Division I school, or even just college in general, I'm not even going to say that, just college in general,
facts, were
self-starters and overachievers. It's like, hey, we got to be there at 6. They were at the gym at 5:45, 5:30. I'm bringing it back. Tyrese Maxey. This man. So you were with him through his whole pre-draft process. He had an extended pre-draft process because of the COVID year.
Yeah.
To the day of his pre-draft workout in the gym at what time every morning?
He's at the gym at 5:15, 5:30.
Every single day. Even the day his pre-draft workout, he's working out for 30 NBA teams on ESPN. He still is like, nah, I'm in there at 5:15, 5:30. This is my routine.
Not changing it.
And look at him. The boy cooking.
He is on the brink of being an all-star. And he deserves it.
The work.
The work is always undefeated. And the crazy thing about Tyrese, even when we had Bron train with him and everything, he never changed his schedule. This is his schedule. This is what he's doing. He's going to be here. His 2 days. He's always going to make his 2 days. And to this day, I kid you not, I called Tyrese last year. He's getting older. I said, hey, man, you still doing your 6 o'clock workouts? He said, yep. Right when I get back, I got 6 a.m. I'll see you at 5:30 in the morning. He doesn't change his workout. He is a pro. He mastered it.
Yep. And
so now he followed the blueprint.
That's it.
You follow the plan. You got a good plan. It's gonna give you the results you want.
100%, man. I think that's so important for kids to see it. Like, he's probably been doing that since before that moment, right? He's been doing it since he's young. That's why he a one and done in the league, making an impact for a team as a young player. Like, that's what it takes at this age. And parents, get out of the way. If you have to wake your kid up to go to a workout, you hustling backwards.
If I'm a parent, I'm asking you this. How much do you really want it? How much do you really want it? Because as a parent, I feel like, I'm not a parent, but I feel like it's to help your kids succeed in life, right? To push them to their goals, right? I'm going to ask my kid this. Hey, how much do you want this? They tell me they want it a lot. Okay, I want you to tell me what you want because we're going to go off of you now. I'm going to let you take the keys. I'm going to help you get there, but you tell me what you need from me. I'm not going to try to keep getting in your way and keep telling you to do this, do that, because if you don't want it, then we're just wasting your time. And I don't want to waste time because time is so valuable. Right? So as a parent now, I'm just going to be like, okay, what do you want? Okay, bet. So now if you don't come get me, that's on you. So don't come to me saying, hey, you didn't wake me up.
My mom didn't wake me up. I have, man.
That's an excuse.
Excuse.
Do you think the guys that you watch every day, the guys that you compete with that are at the top, they go and complain? No, they don't complain. They get it done.
Make a way.
Control what you can control. You can control yourself. Now, control what you can control.
100%. So going into high school, right? You said that trigger happened where you had the takeover moment. Your recruitment started for you as a freshman.
No, it started the beginning of my sophomore year. That's when I started getting stuff. And Coach Chris would call me to his office and say, hey, you got some letters coming in. You come look at these, blah, 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 blah. Boom. Every other day, hey, Cory, come to my office. I got some letters for you. Boom. Cool. But just because I got those doesn't mean it changes my mindset to slow down. You have small wins, cool, but the bigger opportunity is what you want.
Yeah.
So just because you see little success doesn't mean you can't finish through the finish line. Pause.
Got to.
So what you have to continue to do is small wins doesn't mean it's the overall victory.
That's right.
You have to, even if you think you see the finish line, there's a bigger reward at the end of the hill.
Yeah.
Right.
It's about the process of doing it, right?
Exactly. It's the process. And so even though he was showing me the letters and stuff like that, it didn't stop me from being who I wanted to be.
What kind of looks were you getting? Because I want people to know who Cory Smith is, because we know Cory Smith, the trainer, right now.
I was getting looks I got letters from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Texas A&M. I had Duke. I had Detroit Mercer. I had, and it's two other schools. I just don't remember the name of them. And then I had another school, which was a D3, which was Concordia, right? And they're D2, I think, at the time right now. But back then, those were the schools that kept coming. Boom, they kept coming in. Baylor kept watching, so Baylor eventually hit us up. And they came to a whole bunch of our games, was asking coach. And so it was a whole bunch of schools that just coming into the practices and stuff like that. And we had another guy, his name was Jeff Beverly, which is one of the best bigs in the state of Texas, right? And he was flooding in school. So when they was watching him, they was watching me, they was watching the rest of our team, and our team was like, we had, Yale was one of them. And there's one more school I just got to remember. But as soon as those schools were coming in, coach was talking to us, it was cool and everything. And then they'll send us letters and stuff like that. So yeah, but the best one and the one I loved the most was Duke. Because I was like, I really wanted to go there.
Right, that's Duke.
And so it's Duke. And so, but unfortunately, things happen and life continues to move. And so you got to pivot.
So what happened? Let's talk about it.
So when I was end of my sophomore year, we just finished one of these, what we call, because I was playing with an Adidas team. It was on the Adidas circuit. I just finished playing. I literally just had I forgot how much I had. I had a lot. And there was a select team from New Jersey we had just played. And there was a couple of schools that was there at the time. And I just finished playing one of the big games, and then I started feeling sick. And I was like, I never get sick, knock on wood. But I was never getting sick. I was good. I'd fight through everything. I never missed a day of school. I was one of those guys. And so we get back from the weekend, and when we get back from the weekend, I was like, man, I need to go to the doctor. Told my mom, we went, they said, you're okay, it was just one of those signs of infection, you're good. I said, all right, cool, let's keep it moving. And so when we did that, everything was still good. And so then it was a week happened, I was feeling okay. Then one day, I forgot what day it was. I just finished workout in 5th period, and I started getting chills. And I was like, why am I feeling like chills? My teeth, I was just cold. I couldn't really eat. My stomach was like not letting me eat. And I was like, I'm okay. I'm just going to go to my class. So I went to my 6th period. Everything was fine. At 7th period, I went to 7th period, and towards the end of the day, I was like, I got to go to the restroom. So I asked my teacher. Hey, can I use the restroom? She's like, yeah, when this person comes back. I was like, cool. So I literally just sat in my chair, and I was shaking. And I was like, my teeth were chattering, and people was like, yo, you good? And they said I looked pale. I didn't know what that meant, but I was like, they said I looked pale. I was like, all right.
Well, I'm pretty
pale.
sure you were lighter.
I was like, and so when the person came back, I went to the restroom. I didn't really have to go to the restroom. I tried to see if I can make myself throw up, because I was like, I got workout today. I can't miss workout. Like, I know I gotta keep my routine, sick or not, I gotta keep moving. And so I was okay. And then right when I walked out the door, I had to go back in because I started throwing up. Everything, whatever I ate, went right back up, pause. And so I got home, I told my friend, my best friend, Josh, I said, he was on my team too. I said, Josh, because I couldn't drive yet. I was like, you gotta take me to the house, like ASAP. Like, I don't feel good. And this is the first, when I say I don't feel good, something must be wrong, because I don't ever say I don't feel good. Like, I'll fight through anything. Like, doesn't matter. And so when I got home, my sister came to the house and came in later, and she was like, you good? And I was like, I'm laying on the couch. I'm like, I don't feel good. Like, something's wrong. So they checked my temperature. It was like 103, 104. My mom get home, And so my grandmother came over too. And they was like, yo, we got to take him to the hospital. Because they tried to give me water, back up, pause. They tried to give me soup, back up, pause. And so I'm just like, yo, what is going on? So when they took me, I got a steroid shot in my shoulder and I started feeling better. Cool. And then they said, hey, keep him out for a couple of days. Let's see how his body feels.
So at this point, they still think it's a sinus infection?
Still thinks it's sinus infection. Then they were waiting for the lab results because I had to take a little swab or whatever. Pause. And then, just in case, I'm just catching myself. And then,
no more pauses, because
respect.
I want your story to be clear.
Okay.
Yep.
And so, after I took the swab, they took the test. They said I had strep throat. And I was like, strep? That don't make no sense to me. But I said, okay, whatever. Got to go back to school like 3 days later. Had my doctor's note. And then I started working out. And then as soon as I started working out, I felt like drained. And I'm like, yo, something is wrong. Like, I don't think they did this right. So I went to my parents. I'm like, yo, whatever they said is completely wrong. I know my body. My body don't feel right. They're like, well, we'll take you to the doctor again. Took me to the doctor again. They're like, well, it's a sinus infection, but it looks like you just got done with strep throat. I'm like, it don't sound right, but okay. So then they said, hey, try this thing called the nutty pot. And so as soon as I tried the nutty pot, right, I took a nap. And then my dad, after I took a nap, I started doing my homework. And my dad looked at me, he's like, yo, you good? I was like, yeah. He's like, your nose is like swole. So it swole up off the nutty pot. And I was like, huh? And then so they took me to the doctor again. And they was like, yeah, take this antibiotic, you'll be okay, but it looks like it's a bad sinus infection.
I want to clarify, the nutty pot is where you flush
So
out
you flush it, you liquid, and you turn like this, and you let the water come through your nose.
So you flush your sinuses.
Yes.
And so you have a swollen nose at this point.
So my nose was swollen, and when they gave me the antibiotic and everything, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, and so I felt better. And I was like, okay, I feel good. I feel better. Next day, I had a workout with my friend Jeff. Because we were about to start trying to play on the same AAU team in the circuit. And I told my parents, I was like, hey, good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. So I walked upstairs and I went to bed. So the next day happened, right? And this is when everything happened. It was May 5th, May 28th, 2012. And my friend called, because I was still knocked out asleep. My friend called my phone because my mom just walked upstairs because my dad's office is right next to my room. So she walked to go see my dad, but she came in my room because she heard the phone call. And she was like, hey. He was like, hey, Miss Smith, just calling to wake up Cory to make sure he's up. Because he usually calls me, but he didn't call me. And she was like, oh, yeah, I'll wake him up. I'm in the next 5 minutes. Y'all about to go to workout? He's like, yeah, we got workout. All right, yeah, I'll wake him up. So my mom tried to push me, say, hey, Cory, it's time to wake up. And then I didn't move, but she heard me, breathing. And she was like, well, don't make me go get your sister, because my sister would try to wake me up and push me around, whatever. And so she tried to push me. And they was like, Cory. And then so when my sister pushed me, my mom seen that my bed was wet. And she was like, wait a minute. And so my mom also saw my eyes was rolled back. And so she was like, oh, this ain't right. And so she was like, hey, Kayla, go call your grandparents. And so my sister left. My mom was like, Cory. And so she heard me breathe, kind of like Darth Vader-ish. So it was like, and so when she tried to wake me up, she couldn't wake me up. So she ran downstairs. She was knocking on the door. Yo, Kevin, that's my dad's name. Kevin, wake up. We gotta go. And he was like, what's going on? Because he was showering. He was like, hurry and get out the shower. Something's wrong with Cory. He's not waking up. He's not responsive. And so when we went, he came back upstairs. My dad tried to wake me up. Couldn't wake me up. So he put me on his shoulder, brought me downstairs. And when he brought me downstairs, they put me in the car and rushed me to the hospital. And my sister was calling my grandmother because she was going to ride with my grandmother. My grandmother called my uncle and started telling the family what was going on. Because nobody knew what was going on. Yeah. And so when they rushed me to the hospital, they had called, my mom had called my coach because they said, hey, we looked at the x-rays. It looks like he broke his nose. And all the mucus went straight up. And they was like, wait, what? And they was like, well, can you call his coach to see if anything had any head trauma or he got hit in anything? And so when they went, they called him Chris. Yep. And Chris was my head coach. And he was like, yo, Miss Smith. And he was like, hey, coach, can you look back at any film? Any of the coaches look back at any practices, any game films to see if Cory like fell hard, hit his head, or because at first they didn't know if I broke my nose, if I hit my head or something. But they said it was nothing but mucus that was all the way up.
So that explains the swollen nose from the couple days before
Yep.
and all that.
And so when when he called, he was like, I'll check. So they checked, they looked at all the film. He called back, he said, no, we didn't see nothing. What's going on? And he's just like, well, Cory didn't wake up this morning. He was unresponsive. We don't know what's going on. We're at the hospital right now. And we think we're about to life flight him to another hospital so they can have the tools to actually operate him. Because the hospital they took me to didn't have the resources to help me.
Man.
So right now, I'm still knocked out, eyes rolled back, breathing. I don't know how I was breathing. And I'm knocked out. So my parents are telling me exactly what's going on right now. Now they told me.
Right.
And so they said they life flighted me. When they life flighted me and my family, my mom, my sister, my dad, they was like, that was the last time they're going to see their son. And so my mom was like praying in the car. My dad was praying in the car. My sister was with my grandparents. And everybody was just like, and my grandfather was coming from work. Uncle was coming from work. My dad's grandmother, my dad's mom, she lives in Dallas. So he called her and she got on the next flight. And so everybody was all, and then coach was like, okay, I'm heading to the hospital too. He headed to the hospital. And so when they got to the hospital, I was already there. I was already in the operating room. And so when I got there, my mom told me they met the lady in the front. And she was like, are you Cory's parents? They just brought him back. She was like, yes. She was like, how old is he? And she told him my age. She's like, when's his birthday? And she typed it up. They looked it up. And they was like, oh, he's a Christmas baby, right? And she's like, yeah. So she gave my mom this necklace, this rosemary necklace. I think that's what it is. And so gave my mom this necklace. They prayed over it, and then they all went back in the waiting room. And so my mom said they waited for like, I want to say an hour and a half. The doctors came out. They said, hey, Cory's parents. And my mom and dad stood up. Everybody else stood up and just waiting for the answer. And his name was Dr. Chin. And he came in. He said, hey, we did all we could. The next 15 minutes are crucial. If he doesn't wake up in the next 15 minutes, we'll see what the next procedures are to helping your son. And so they walked back. And so my parents sat down and everybody just waited because you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen, what's going to do this, what's going to happen. So everybody was just silent. Didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do. And, you know, me, I don't understand the feeling. But as a parent, I can only imagine what they was feeling. So, like they said, my dad he didn't know what to think. Like, he was just walking around pacing. He didn't know. My sister, she didn't know what was going on. My mom, coach didn't know what was going on. So they were just sitting there waiting. And then the doctor came out. They said he came out like, I want to say like 30 to 45 minutes later or an hour later. So they thought I was gone. Like,
Because
he
they
didn't
said
come.
15
Yeah,
minutes and
exactly.
longer. Yep.
So they thought I was gone. And so when that happened, they was like, oh, he came back out. It's like, he's okay. He's in ICU. He's still kind of asleep, so he probably isn't really awake, but we have him under control. And they was like, okay, good. Can we see him? So they let my mom and dad come see me. And I seen the picture, and it has a picture of me laying on my side. And so I had, it was like a tube to my head because they had to drain all the blood from the surgery. So it was a tube here. It was like a bucket right here. And so they was letting the blood drain and stuff like that. And I was just sitting in the bed like this. And I seen the picture. And so my dad started after that day, my dad started videotaping everything, taking photos and everything. So he let me see the story. And so after that happened, it was like a week or two. And then I finally was able to like actually open my eyes and see what was going on. And so when I first woke up, they was like, hey, baby. And I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't know where I'm at. So I went back to sleep. I'm like, right. and so I'm just in the room, and I'm looking, and I had to relearn how to walk. Let's say this: walk, talk.
I want to talk about this though, really quick before you get to that. How many surgeries had you have gone through to this point?
To right now, to this day,
No, from when
From that point,
yeah, when they
it was
took
just
you in.
one.
That was just
One
one
surgery.
surgery. Okay, and then you woke up. Okay,
And then I woke up and stuff, and everything was started getting better.
Okay.
I had to relearn how to walk, talk, how to move, use my arms and everything, because what it did was the mucus, they call it a subdural empyema. It knocks out some of your nervous like functions because of the way it hit your brain. So it flooded this side of my brain, right? And so right now I have 1/3 of my real skull and 2/3 of all metal.
You have 2/3 of metal.
So right here on this side from here, if I took my head off, I just don't have a haircut. Respect.
Yeah.
So from here to here is a titanium mesh.
Wow.
From here all the way back to here is a titanium plate.
Dang.
So half of my skull is a plate. This third right here of my brain is mesh. So this little section right here is the only part of the skull that I have left.
So if you headbutt somebody, you're going to mess them up.
Man, when we had to take flights and stuff, the first thing I'm worried about is, yo, I can't even take a flight without getting beat. Like, hey, look, I ain't got nothing on me. Every time I go, we got to search you. I'm like, I already know where it's at. It's here. It's in my head. And so, but, I learned to live with it. And that was just the first surgery. Okay. The second surgery, they found out that whatever was on the left side migrated to the right side.
Oh. Man.
And so I had to have another surgery. And so what they try to do is they try to break my nose in the second surgery, put 2 tubes through my nose and try to come all the way up. And pause, they put a big tube down my throat so I couldn't breathe through my throat. The reason why I said that is because it's very important for the next part.
Yeah.
And so when they did this and they try to get all of the mucus out, right? So then I'm like, okay, cool. Then I ain't gonna keep cutting in my head. We good, right? And I didn't have a choice. I mean, these surgeries are just happening.
Right.
Right.
How long after the first surgery was the second surgery?
I want to say probably 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. So you're in recovery mode, trying to learn
I'm
to
in
walk,
recovery,
eat,
trying to
talk, all that again.
I'm trying to get back in hoop. Like that's my main thing. I'm trying to hoop. But what? Hey Doc, what I gotta do?
Yeah.
Doc, what I gotta do? And what made me who I am. After my first surgery, and I can't speak. I can't, but I can still hear. Like I'm still functioning, right?
Right. And
I'm laying in my bed.
Do you know who people are? You still recognize? You have memory?
I kind of recognize who they are, but now I know who they are now.
Gotcha.
Right? And so I'm listening because he was like, hey, Miss Smith, let me walk with you outside. Because they was checking in on me. And they was like, hey, the surgery was very tough on Cory's body. Because I had lost 75 pounds. Dang. Right? I didn't mention that. There's a lot that I didn't mention. But I lost 75 pounds, still learning how to function and stuff like that. And it's going towards the middle of the summer now. And so I'm missing basketball. So I'm like, okay, I can get back. I'm starting to learn things. I was like, okay, I can get back. I'm trying to schedule time. I'm trying to plan it. And so the doctors pull my parents aside. They said, hey, we can't rush this process. We want to make sure Cory heals the proper way. And the way his brain is, we don't know how fast he's going to develop. And so I remember my parents asking, what does that mean, Doc? They said, well, Cory might not be a normal kid again. The functions that the mucus and the sickness did to him, it took out some functions. So now we don't know how his body's going to react when we start teaching him how to do everything again. So we don't know how long it's actually going to take. It could take 6 months. It could take a year. It could take 2 to 3 years. We don't know how his body's going to adapt because these are one of our rare cases. Like I've heard, I don't know if it's still true, but it was like my case and like another case was the only 2 that really survived this whole thing.
Wow.
Right? And so I'm hearing that. I'm like, normal kid. And I was like, yeah, he might not be able to play sports again because we don't know if he'll be able to hit his head and we don't know what's going to happen. Like if he hits his head one time,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Right? And so in me hearing that, and I can't do nothing, but so I'm just like that's hard to hear from a doctor that you have put all your trust in. Hey, you might not be a normal kid again.
Yeah.
What? That's when I knew I control who I am. That was I can say that was one pivotal point in my life where I said, I either gonna go down and be depressed, or I'm just gonna live the life God gave me and make the best out of everything I can from here on out.
Yeah.
And from that moment in, I was like, all right, doc, what I gotta do? What I gotta do? What I gotta do? Because after that surgery, you know, and everything, and they figured out that I was on this side, I had to have the surgery. And then I figured out the next day, I'm waking up, I can't breathe, right? This is after the second surgery. I can't breathe. I'm knocking in. I'm like, yo, well, I can talk though, but I'm like, yo, I can't breathe. Because they had that big tube that I was telling you about, pause. And so with the I can only eat ice. I couldn't drink no water, couldn't eat no food. So I'm still losing weight. And so they was like, he's gonna be fine. We just gotta keep and letting his throat relax because it's very swollen. So we gotta keep putting ice on it, and the icicles will melt it and make it back to normal. But we're gonna have to do another surgery. I'm like, what do you mean we're gonna have to do another surgery? Because now I can talk now. What you mean we gotta do another surgery? And so, well, everything that was on this side, we got everything that's low, but everything migrated up in the past couple of days. So there's still things that are still in here. So eventually, now we're gonna have
infection or something we're talking about. Infection, okay.
So the subdural empyema is a sinus infection that goes to the brain and sits on the skull, which goes into the skull, and now it ruptures with your functions.
Gotcha.
And so once it did that, I'm just like this. Well, let's do it. Like, there's nothing, I can't complain about it no more. Like, I'm still living.
Yeah.
Well, I just got to clean it up. We just got to go. And so what I've learned is from that moment, I was like, you just got to go. Like, I can't live the way I want to live unless I get this done. And so that was towards the end of the summer. So I'm already missing basketball. So I'm like, all right, I might as well get done so I can get back sooner. Right? And I was rushing. I'm like, okay, let me do this. And so luckily I still had people coming to come see me in the hospital and stuff like that. But once that third surgery happened, I had to be in the hospital for a little bit. But they had put the titanium mesh. The skull didn't come into the last surgery because they had to create it all the way in wherever they had to create it.
What was there in place?
Nothing.
Your brain was exposed?
So my brain was exposed the whole time. So this is the crazy thing about it. So as you see, I had that dip right here, right?
Yeah.
And so with that dip, just imagine that dip going all the way down. So my head was like this, but my brain was like this. So that's how thick my skull was. So when I chew, you can see my brain do this. It was the coolest thing I ever seen. But
no, it's not done. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I was like, because I would really eat and then be like, but anyway, but yeah, it was cool. But I was like, I couldn't wear anything but a helmet. So they had me wear a helmet, and I was
like a lacrosse helmet or
not like a surgical helmet.
Okay.
I didn't play with a UFC helmet until I had to play, and I figured out because I was like, they're not gonna let me play unless I had to protect my head. So we searching. My mom's searching. This boy gonna play. We searching to find something, right? And so when I had that third surgery, I was like, okay, when I do my rehabs, I gotta have the little hat on. But other than that, man, you know me, I'm trying to be swaggy. I'm trying to be dripped out. So I put little caps on, I had snapbacks, and I'm like, I still want to live a normal life. How can I live a normal life and still go to school? Because I was missing. Because when my third surgery ended and I'm starting to do rehab, school had just started.
Okay.
Right. And my sister kept telling me, coming back to school, they keep hounding me about you when you coming back. I said, well, just tell them I'm coming back soon. I don't know what to tell you. And it was the coolest thing because there's a lot of people I didn't know I've affected when I was, I affected in a positive way. Yeah. Because my sister was bringing me back like letters and stuff like that. People saying, hey, get well soon. People was calling saying, hey, people were still coming to my house. It was cool. Had my team still coming to my house. And everything was cool. So that really showed me like, okay, I see who really rocking with me, stuff like that. But what really gave me more motivation, right? My doctor was like, because it was the head coach of the high school of the football team. His name was Coach Hartman. I can never forget this, right? So on the back of their helmets, I was Miracle Man. After everything that happened, my birthday's on Christmas. And so they was calling me a miracle child. So I was like, I'm not a child no more, I'm a man, Miracle Man. And so they put the sticker, it was a 5, because that was my basketball number, 5 with the wings, and it was a helmet, right? Because I was going to play with a helmet when I came back. I figured out that's the only way I could play, right? And so during that season, they had the sticker or like the patch on the back of the helmets. So when they was playing, they was like, okay, we're gonna play. And so it was the game before homecoming. The homecoming was the next week, and nobody see me, right? So I was like, dang, I look small too. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I look small, cool, no muscle, no nothing really. But I learned how to walk strong enough to go to the game, right? So I went to the football game. I called my boy Jeff. I said, because he was bigger, so he could protect. If I fall, like, you got me, bro. Like, if somebody trying to run after me, you got me. He's like, yeah, I got you, cool. So I called. So when I went to the fence to get into the gate, because I had to go through a different gate, so nobody could touch me, nobody could see me, right? So I went through the gate. My friend Jeff met me there. My sister told her her friends to come in that knew that happened to me and stuff like that, and I was still cool with them. They was like, oh my God, how you doing? Cool. We was talking to them, and then they was like, well, Jeff was like, well, they waiting for you on the field, bro. I was like, well, okay, right. So we left, right? We went on the field. I'm walking on the field. I had a little snapback, cool little snapback, little LA Lakers, because that was my favorite team back then. Now I don't have a favorite team. Let's put that out there.
Right.
But when I was walking out there, like the game was still going on, and then everybody was going, and they see me walk. So you could see the stands like on this, right? Everybody was like, wait, is that
Miracle Man?
Is that him? Is that Cory? It was like Cory. It was like Cory. I was like, dang, like this motivated me. Like, cause you're gonna have days where you're like, today ain't the day. I had a lot of those days.
No, you had a summer.
You
had a life.
I had a life of
Corey,
one of them days.
You are so humble in the way you talk about this. Like, you didn't just have 3 brain surgeries in your life. Well, 3 at this point.
Yeah.
3 to this point, and going through everything you've gone through, and your attitude towards it is how people should be without going through something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, because I want to say one thing, right? Because I couldn't do it alone. You never, in life, everything takes a team. I don't care what people say. It always takes a team effort. Nobody can ever do it solo dolo, right? Even if you think you're doing it by yourself, God is already with you. So you already have a team, right? And then I had my mom, I had my dad, I had Coach Johnson, and I can never pay him for what he did for me. And so, like, I had those people pushing me. And then when I'm walking on the field and I'm seeing all these people, oh my God, Cory. They all racing to like the edge of the stands and stuff like that. And then I see the team coming around. And so the game took a pause and everybody just clapped and had my name. They was like, welcome Cory Smith to the field. And that moment right there, that's when I knew, that's another moment that helped me actually push me through. I was like, okay, I got to make it back. There's no more excuses for myself. If I can put positivity and energy like that to stands full of people I don't even know, and that shows the character that I want to have around people, and that shows who I've been so far in my life, I'll never change. Yeah. And that moment showed me that being me will always be good enough. I don't never have to change who I am. Yeah. My energy, my positivity, and the way God built me will always be who I am today, right? And so going through that moment, when I'm in the car, right? And I told my mom, I was in the car, and I was like, Mom, man.
Did you cry?
When?
When you walked out to the field and got all that love.
No, I couldn't cry.
I had like a baby.
I had to be an OG.
I almost cried right now, dog. I'm like,
I had to be an OG with it. I had to be like, but when I got in the car, I was like this. I'm like, it's a whole bunch of stuff going through my head, right? So my sister in the front seat, because I can't sit in the front. My mom's sitting right there. And let's not forget this. I got taller too, by the way.
Oh,
I grew when I was 6.
This is your summer. This is your growth spurt.
This is the growth spurt summer. And so I'm sitting in the back like this, right? And I tell my mom, I'm like, Mom. She's like, yeah. She's like, the game was kind of lit today, huh? She's like, yeah, why you say that? She's like, just wait till my first game. Wait till the first game I come back. I told her that. I said, wait till the first game I come back. It's going to be packed. It's going to be stand-up room only. And it's gonna be one of them nights, one of them moments of my whole entire life. And no matter what goes on from here on out, that's gonna be the one moment that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. Nobody in this family will ever forget for the rest of their life, right? And so You know, days kept going, piling up, stacking days, same routine, waking up, doing rehab, stuff like that, learning how to write again, learning how to read again and stuff like that. And finally, the day came. Hey, let's put this last piece in. It came in. Bet. I remember that. It was October 1st, 2012. So from May 28th, 2012 to October 1st, 2012, that whole enchilada right there, pause, is what took me, that's how long that it took for me to get all the way to where I need to be.
Fully
Just for
rehabilitated
me
to
to
be
get
normal.
to be a normal,
At function normally.
at functioning, yes. And I have my skull and everything back to normal, right?
So this is 3 surgeries.
That would have been the fourth. The last one was October 1st.
Okay, what was the last one for?
The fourth was to put the titanium plate in.
Gotcha.
So now I got the plate in my head, but my head still looked lopsided, right? Because it's just not coming in. And they was like, hey, we put the staples in your head. But after I had that surgery, I could go home. They just said, hey, make sure you ice your head, you good. Right? You might be bleeding a little bit from your head, but it's nothing serious. I was like, all right, cool. And you can still do your tears.
There's nothing serious.
Nothing serious.
From your head.
Let's get. And then I was like this. I said, in my head, I'm like, oh, it's go time. It's go time. You understand? I was hyped. I'm moving. I'm like, what we gotta do? What we gotta do? What's this? What's that? Right? And so then I'm like, oh, I can come back to school. They was like, slow your roll, right? There's still a lot of things I had to do. Like I had to get my white blood cell count up. My white blood count was so low that as soon as I got sick, I'm back in the hospital.
Wow.
So low. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Nothing that's gonna stop me from getting back, right? And so it's just days and days. I had like a home, I forgot what they call it, but like somebody come to my house, and so she was the sweetest little lady, you know. She was teaching me and stuff like that. I did my homework. Then after that, I watch basketball, or I play 2K, or I'll do my push-ups, and then coach would come over, play me in 2K. He'll beat me a couple times, but I really won majority of them, even though he say I'm lying. Then my dad would play me. Like everybody would try to keep me company and stuff like, and try to keep my mind off it. But they already knew. I already had a plan in my head. Like I'm coming back. And so this was like the best moment. So it was my junior year, right? Spring is about to happen. So winter, I missed the whole winter. I couldn't go to school.
Yep.
But when that first spring, they was like, Cory, you can go back to school. You don't understand how excited I was. I've never been so excited for anything in my life. Like that right there, that excitement was top 2, not 2.
I bet.
Right? And so I went to school. I had, hey, look, I need a new outfit. I need this. I need that. I need boom, boom, boom. But they was like, look, we're going to put some stipulations on you. I said, talk to me. And so the lady was like, okay, you're going to have to leave, get to class 5 minutes early. And you got to leave. You got to get to class 5 minutes early and leave 5 minutes early. I was like, okay, cool. And you get one student to take you to your next class before, because they wouldn't let me carry anything, or they wouldn't let me walk with everybody yet. And then at the end of the day, you got to either stay in the locker room or walk to the locker room because I know you got practice. I said, cool, bad, right? They said you couldn't do no basketball activity until Coach Johnson signs you off. So I was like, all right, cool. Man, his workouts was harder than 10 workouts. He was like,
Chris signing you off sounds crazy now.
He was like, okay, so this is what we got to do, Smith. I was like, all right, what we got? You got to be this strong. You got to be this fast. You got to be able to run and not fall over. Because when I was running, I was
a little dizzy.
Boy, when I'm talking about, I look like a deer in headlights. My legs was like, man, because I never used them. Because I just grew. My arms got a little bit taller. A little bit longer. My feet got longer. I just grew. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I use this body, right? I had to relearn how to shoot, relearn how to dribble. So he's making me do all these tasks. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm just like, okay, I gotta wake up early. I gotta do my push-ups every night. This what made me figure out, okay, put everything aside. Here's my goal. Put everything aside. It don't matter. I got school locked in. I got this locked in. This is my focus.
We have to go back and just talk about what you persevered through. 4 surgeries. Not understanding how fast you can rehab and develop and come back to a normal life. So first off, thank God for that. The
Man, we thank him every day.
The power of his healing is nothing else, right? Thank you to the doctors, to your parents, your support system,
Man.
like you said, but to you, man, to like how the plan that God has for your life is so much bigger
Man,
because of that, man.
you don't know until you know. You can definitely say that. And the only thing I can honestly say that helped me get through it is my aunt Sheila, right? She would send me Bible verses every week. She was like, "Hey, I need you to know this. Hey, I need you to say this every time." So every time I'm about to go into a surgery, I'm saying this in my head, like boom, 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 boom. So like before they put me under, I'm saying this to my head, boom, 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 boom.
Meditating
And
on His
then
word.
yes, and so every time we come out, she'd be the one to call me. "Did you say it?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "That's why I'm talking to you now." And I was like, I said, "You're right. Like, you're on point." Right. And so every time until she was able to come down and see me, she was like, "Say these words. Hey, this is what we're doing." And so she sent me the verses, then sending me gospel songs, right? And so then that's when I made my gospel playlist. My gospel playlist, A1, by the way. If y'all need it,
It
let
is
me
fire,
know.
actually. I've heard it. It is fire.
If you need my gospel playlist, it's fire. It gets you moving and grooving, baby. Now, but that she helped me build that, right? And my mom giving me songs and giving me verses and talking to me and staying with me, and Chris pushing me through things. That and my pops, because unfortunately he lost his job because of the medical bills. They dropped him, and then God works His miracle. Hey, when I say when one door closes, another door opens. My dad got a job that pays more, does more. He has more time off. I got. As soon as he lost that one, I know he was doing whatever he was doing. He was doing this. Then he moved to Dallas because that's where his new job happened. So during my senior year, he would come to some games, then he'll fly in and he'll go because he was handling his business. And I knew he had to handle his business. Like, I understand. But now I really appreciate it more because I understand what you really have to do to provide for the people you love.
The sacrifice.
Sacrifice is one of the craziest things and things people don't understand. Yeah. Time and sacrifices, things people will never understand. But you got to do it. It's crazy.
Whew. All right, recovery, road to recovery, man. Road to recovery. So you in there, you got to run straight. So
yeah.
How long did it take you to get back into basketball playing shape, and what did that workout look like?
So Chris teased me a little bit. Pause. So this is how it happened, right? So he was like, I remember I had to run this last sprint. And we called them team reminders, right? And I had to make it under a minute 5 because of, I'm still learning how to use my body. So I'm running as hard as I can. And he's not making me touch the line. He's making me touch wall to wall, right? So I made the time, boom. Then he's making me do finishes. He had the pad.
Yep.
And so he's hitting me to see if I fall, how did my body react, right? So I'm going for a layup, boom. I gotta get back up. Going for another layup, boom. Get back. And like, he making me foul, and I'm falling like really hard. I had to learn how to fall. And so he teaching me like, no, this is what you gotta do. This is how I do it. This is how you do it. This is how you protect yourself. And so from then, once I did that and I checked off all the lists, Cory, you gonna play. You gonna suit out. I said, bet, I'm gonna suit out. So people see me in warm-ups, they're like, oh, Cory gonna play tonight. Cory gonna play tonight, right? He was like, but we already talked about it. He said, come to my office. He said, Cory, you're not gonna play tonight, but I'm gonna have you suit up. And then you're just gonna suit up. I want you to feel part of the team, right? So I was just nervous to suit up. I'm like, yo, my body, because you never know. He might call, because something might happen. He might have to call a real shootout here. And so you never know. But that right there gave me some more motivation. Like, oh, I got the jersey back on. I got my shoes back on. The shoes feel different.
You achieved a part of your goal.
The small goal.
Yeah.
Small goal. But I seen there's a finish on the other hill, right? And so I went through practice the next week, right? He called me in the day. It was against Dickinson, right? He called me in. He was like, okay, I think you're ready. What you think? I was like, you call it, I'm ready, right? And he's like, all right, tell your mom and your pops to go to the game, but don't tell them you're going to play. Just be like, hey, are y'all pulling up? Ask them if they pulling up to the game today. And so I did. So when I went home, I said, hey, and my dad was in town. And so I asked my mom, I said, hey, y'all going to the game? I was like, yeah, we're going to the game. My dad was like, ah. And then I was like, Dad, you haven't checked out none of our games this year. He's like, all right, I'll go to one game, man. I'll go to your game. I know you ain't gonna play, but I'll go to the game. I said, bet, right? So the game happens, right? And so we get to the game. They doing warm-ups. They was like, you warming up? Like, we doing this, that, whatever. Cool. And then, so towards the end of the first quarter, right? It's like probably like 1 minute left. He subs me in. My mom like this. My dad was like, everybody was like, and so I ain't never had goosebumps in my life. Or I ain't never been starstruck in my life. But that moment right there, it felt like, you ever felt like you just finished the test and you're just like, I didn't feel like that. I felt so tense. I felt so tense, brother. And when I said, I'm like, I can't mess this up. I can't fall. I can't run. I don't know. So then I get in. They swing it to me. I shoot my first shot. Air ball. I said, oh my God. He's like, sub. He said, you good. He said, if you don't shoot, I'm going to knock you out. I said, all right, coach. He ain't nothing to knock you out, but you keep shooting. I was like, all right, coach, I got you. Right? And so he put me back in the third quarter. Third quarter, because it was towards the end. Right? He put me back in the third quarter. He's like, Cory, no matter if you touch that ball, you shoot it. Don't do nothing else, shoot it. I said, say less, right? So we swung it. I got me a rebound. I kicked it out. And he was mad because he was like, what are you doing down there? Because he didn't want me to get hurt. Right. I was like, what are you doing down there, right? I was like, all right, my bad. So he called a timeout. He drew up a play, right? So he's like, Cory, you going to make this shot. I said, I got you. I was nervous. My hands was like this. I got you. Boy, I ain't never been so nervous in my life, right? And it was like 5 seconds left in the clock in the third quarter, right? And so we was making this. He made the play, right? He drew up the play. And so he set a down screen for me to come up the floor, right? I came up the floor. As soon as I came up the floor, he said, catch and shoot it. Don't do nothing else. Caught, shot it. It was nothing but that. Everybody went crazy. I was like I finally had that relief of I made it. I did this. I looked at my mom. I looked at my dad. The doctors was there. I didn't know they was going to tell them to come to the game. And so that's when I didn't break down crying. I didn't break down crying until the end of the game. Yeah. Because everybody left. And I was just sitting on the I was just like this, because it all just came through, pause. I was just like it felt like I was holding everything in, right? And so all I could do was, only words I said was, thank God. Yeah. I was lost for words. I cried, and I was just sitting in the locker because everybody was waiting, but I was like, I can't move, yeah. You got to understand, I was excited to leave and go talk to people, but I was like, I had to take a moment for myself. I talked to God, I said, we did it. We did it. The whole first surgery to the not knowing if you're going to be a normal kid again, to coming back to the people calling your names, to learning how you got to pass another test, something else will pop up. And there's still a lot of stuff I didn't get to say. And this pop up, now this happened. Okay, we got to figure out how he's going to do this. Okay, what helmet we're going to let him play. Then at the same time, I was losing colleges because they didn't know if I was going to be able to play again. Then they see I had to play with a UFC helmet, learning how to dribble with the thing so the UFC helmet makes you look like this, like you got tunnel vision. So that's why he didn't want me to dribble.
Blinders on?
Boy, I was like this. I couldn't see nobody. I'm handling the rock. I'm like, bro, I can't see nothing. And so I'm learning how to. I gotta really look because they can literally back tab and I could never see them, right? And so
this explains a lot.
Why?
Because when you first started your passion, when we was training the pros, Cory could not. He has no peripheral.
I had no peripheral. Like that helmet.
A whole lot.
That helmet, I literally had to play for 2 years. I had to do this. I couldn't do this. I couldn't see. I couldn't see. And so I had to learn how to play through that. Then I had to pass. Chris's test was probably one of the hardest basketball tests I've ever took in my life, just to get my body right. And then I had to do the warm-ups with the teaser, and then going through practice, and then airball in the first shot, and putting in my head damn, I just gotta keep shooting. All that, just I broke down. Yeah. Teared up just a little bit, not too much, but I teared up just a little bit. And I was just wow.
That burden lifted.
Like, now what's next? Like, that's what a lot of people, when you finally achieve something, the what's next is the hardest part. Like, think about a pro. They play in their career, right? And let's say it's time for them to retire. What is next? That's the hardest part of figuring out how to live. Like, what's next for me?
Yeah.
Because I know about the schools, I know about this, I know about that. I don't know if they're gonna let me play AAU, which I didn't get to play AAU after my sophomore year anymore. Okay. Which strictly high school. Okay, what school am I going to? Okay, what am I gonna do now? Okay, what is my learning? Like, I got so much stuff going on, but then I realized I just gotta stay in the moment.
Yeah.
And so
what was next?
What was next is I had practice the next day. That was the first thing I had to focus on. I had workout. I came back in the morning, got straight back to my routine. And that's what helped me keep saying going into high school. I kept a routine. Even though everything that happened, I went back to my routine. And my senior year was really the craziest year. My junior year was okay. But then when people around the world found out, and I had to come up here to LA to go on Fox Live with Gary Payton, flew me out and stuff like that. And I did a whole bunch of different interviews down in Texas, played ones against James Harden, and when I was in a camp when I was young, in high school, my senior year. And so that's when people seen, oh, time out. He hooping with a helmet on, like, what's going on? And people didn't know I had 4 brain surgeries, which was, I didn't really like realize how like traumatic it was until I actually and I didn't really do this until I graduated college, and people kept telling me, bro, you need to come out with a book. Bro, you need to come out with a movie. Like, that movie would be dope. Like, you should really tell and show the story. Like, I feel like a lot of people would, like, your movie would be like top 2, not 2 of that year. I was like, I don't know. And so my parents, I was like, hey, Dad, Mom, can I see the videos and pictures that you have and the letters? And my mom, bless her soul, she was with me every single day from the very first day, right? So she wrote, logged, on May, on this, on this. So she wrote that. God made her do that. I don't think, she just wrote it, right? And so my dad, when he saw my mom writing down, he's like, well, I'm just gonna take pictures. And so they videotaped the whole thing. Dang. And so I'm looking at it, I'm like, I did that. That happened.
That's why you know the story so well too, because you got to watch it and see it.
I'm watching
over
it,
and over,
and every time I watch it, it's a different feeling.
Man,
it's crazy because the first time I watch it, I'm like, oh, I just went through something. Second time I watch it, I'm like, wait a minute. The third time I watch it, I'm like, yo, that is crazy. And so
watching your brain move while you chewing is wild.
It was wild, bro. Like,
get over that.
Bro, like, I was
That's
eating
my takeaway
food.
from the day.
I was eating food, and that joint was like, I was like, so, and then I had a thought, right? Just to say, I was like, I wonder when, and this is when I was young. He's like, so I wonder when people think, right? You know how car engines, they go when they run. I was like, I wonder when people think, like, do your brain go boom, 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 boom? So I was not trying to be funny, bro. But look, I was like, so I started trying to think hard, right? This is when I was still trying to learn how my body worked. So I was like thinking hard, and I was looking in the mirror like this.
Was it move? Did it move?
Well, just like a little bit.
I
was like, yo, that's so tough. So tough. It was so tough.
Dope. All right, so senior year was you played still, and
I
then
played.
You had this.
I got my spot back. Oh, it was go time, but
you got
it was
this
a different
celebrity too.
It was like a celebrity status, and it was weird for me because I've been chill. Like, I don't do much, right? And so I still had I gotta leave 5 minutes early, even though, because it still hasn't developed and meshed together. But before that happened, I went to a camp, like a Rockets camp, because I had this PR lady, right? And she was like, when they found out about the story, it was like, hey, we want to write it up in this newspaper. Cool, whatever. Now we want to write it in the Houston Chronicle. It was like the major news of Houston. They wrote it in that. Then they was like, okay, James wants you to come to this camp, and they want you to meet James. You're supposed to meet him. I wasn't supposed to play him, nothing, right? And so we get to the camp, and cool was going on. Me and my homeboy Josh, like best friend. He's the one that drove me home when I was 6, the very first day, right? And since then, I took him everywhere. He been going with me everywhere. Through that whole process, I was like, Josh, you pulling up. Like, you my bodyguard, bro. Like, come on. And so he came with me to the camp. We both balled out at the camp. And then they was like, oh, they picked a couple campers to play against James. So they picked the little ones. You know how they pick at the camp.
Yep.
So they picked me. So they picked him. They picked two little kids, his cousin, James' cousin, and then me, right? And so the two little kids went first, and then they played me. And guess which move I used?
His step back?
No. I was using Rondo series before I knew the Rondo series. I was driving, I hit it between the legs, and I pushed. I showed here, I put a floater with my right hand. Everybody was like, oh! And I didn't play with a helmet right there. I took my helmet off to play because my helmet was over there because I didn't know they was going to pick me.
Oh, snap.
So I was nervous. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely about to pump fake this man.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping. Like, if he don't jump, I'm just going to handle the ball. That was my game plan. So I showed him, he jumped. I said, oh, that's a layup. And so when I did that, I was like, oh, shoot, I got him. And I walked back, but everybody was dapping me up. I was like, hey, not too much, right? And so I went back, and then the video people, they was like, wait a minute. They saw me go to my mom and put my helmet on. And so that's when they videotaped. They was like, wait a minute, who is this kid? So they went to go ask my mom. They was like, hey, why is he wearing a helmet? He just had 4 brain surgeries. And you know, my mom didn't play that cool, but I would play that. And they was like, what happened? So they told my mom the story. They was like, hey, can we do a feature on him? And then when the feature happened, that same day, James didn't know I was the guy he was supposed to meet. And he was like, yo, you the kid that, and I was like, yeah. To this day, I still don't think he remembers. But for me, that was a moment in my life.
Yeah, that's
right?
dope, man.
And so we met, we talked it up, chopped
This
it up.
is
cool.
MVP James.
Yeah. This is when he was with the Houston Rockets, you know what I'm saying?
MVP James.
Yeah. Averaging 30, 40, and 25. No, but he was hooping. And so then after that, I left, right? And then I was chilling. I was like, and my boy Josh, because he was a fan of the Rockets too, and I was a fan of the Lakers, right? But you know, I was a fan of basketball, and so I was like, yo, you know, he was like, bro, you got lucky, bro. He jumped like I'm like, bro, why you hating, bro? Like, come on. And so my phone started going off like, this is when I knew like, yo, my life about to change. My phone started going. He mentioned me. He's like, yo, this guy today just really changed my life.
This like Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram. And so I got the video. I can show you after this. But he was like, yo, this really changed my life. Like how everything just went into full like circle, blah, blah, blah. I forgot what he said. But he said, and he mentioned my name. And then everybody in the comments, do. So then I got people from my high school. I'm like, why you mentioning me? Why you put me? And this is before you can put somebody on your story, right? There's commenting, right? And so I'm like, what did he do? And I'm like, yo, Josh, we in the car. He said, look at this. I showed him. He was like, yo. I said, bro, our lives about to change. He's like, no, yours. I said, nah, bro. Wherever I go, you go. Like, our lives about to change. He's like, I bet, we'll see. So the day goes on. So I had like probably like 2,000 followers after that, like right there, right? When I wake up the next day, I'm at like 50K. I kid you not, on my Miracle Man page. I deleted that like page before. No. I deleted it when I was going into college because I didn't want people to, I didn't want to be like that, right? I deleted it. It happened, right? So then that's when I made like a different Cory. I was young. I didn't know. But anyway.
All good.
It was young.
God bless you.
I deleted that Instagram.
Don't do that again.
Right? And so, because I was like, man, this is just.
It's a part of your journey. It's a part of your story. It's a
but I deleted.
I
I have the photos. I just deleted
all
the
the
Instagram.
pictures are nice. No, but it's all part of your story to where you are today.
I know.
It's all good. You was young.
I was young and
It's all
just
good.
living life. And I was like, man, I'm going to delete this. And I was like, oh, now I realize.
All
but, so when my phone started blowing up, I was like, yo, mom, like, you see this? She was like, yo, that's crazy. So then we was just watching, we was at this barbecue joint called Papados, right?
I love Papados.
And yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I just don't eat that type of food no more, respectfully. But we was at this spot called Papados, and my mom's friend, her name is Charlotte, called her. She's like, yo, turn on the TV. She was like, well, we're at this sports bar. She was like, go look at Fox Sports Live. Gary Payton just shut out Cory. We was like, Gary Payton, what does that have to do with Cory? So they put it on the TV. They're like, yo, our best person in sports today is Cory Smith. You know, he in Houston, Texas. He went to James Mission. He's like, Cory, I'm coming to see you. Yada yada. DM me. I never DM him. My PR people did, right?
Okay.
So my PR people DM'd him, and that's how I flew to LA. He was like, yo, I'm gonna send you a private jet to come up to LA. I want you and your mom come visit LA for a little bit. Come see me for a day. Come on my show. We're gonna chop it up, and you're gonna come back, and you know, live a normal life.
There's video of all this stuff too?
Yeah, my mom has it. And so when we went, I went to Fox Sports Live. I'm like, yo, like, this is crazy. Yo, like, they want to see me. Like, I ain't got nothing to say, right? but I was like, it's going to be cool. So we went on the plane. It was a regular plane, though, respectfully. And then we went on the plane. It was good. It was first class seats, first class.
Okay, there we go.
And then when we went there, we had a driver. This is my first time with anything, like a driver. And say, Cory Smith. I said, shit, I might be the only Cory Smith here, brother. Like, Mom, that might be for us. I said, you know, I was like, dang, this cool. So I just kept it cool. I kept it cooled up. You know what I'm saying? I had my shades on. I kept it cool.
Hollywood. We talked about this. He was Hollywood before he was in Hollywood.
I kept it cool. So I was keeping it cool. And then as soon as we got in the car, I was like, yo, this is tough. He was like, sir, you want water? Da, da, da. I was like, sir. I was like, this is the first time I'm hearing stuff. So this is when I was like, oh, okay. And so we went to the hotel. Then he was like, hey, wherever you want to go, we have to be at Fox Sports Live this time, but let me know where I want to go. I said, bet, say less. So we drove around. First time I saw Staples Center. It's the first time I've ever been in LA, like, period. And so we was driving around. I was like, Mom, I could live here. And that's crazy, right? I said, Mom, I could live here. She was like, don't worry about it, whatever, right? She didn't believe me. I was like, Mom, I really think I could live here. And so we went to Fox Sports, right? So we went in, and they had somebody greet us. I forgot her name. She came and greeted us. She's like, so here's the Fox Sports studio, da-da-da. Gary's going to meet y'all later. You're going to meet him in the meeting room when y'all meet to talk about what we're going to talk about on the show. I said, huh? I got to have a meeting? Like, first of all, and she was like, yeah, you're going to meet such and such. I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And so when we went, I walked in. I was like, Mom, take a picture of me by the sign. I'm fanboying, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm living life.
Yes,
I'm young.
as you should.
So then after that, we took our pictures. We did this, we did that. And then she was like, hey, it's time for you to go to the meeting. I said, all right, bet, take me to the meeting. I was like, okay, I'm just going to a meeting, my first little meeting. They had a little long table. They had Gary and the other 3 co-hosts that was there, and then I was on this side, and then they had the producers on this side. So they was like, you know, they was all sitting like this. So I was like, I guess I got to sit like that. So I was sitting like this.
Mirror the room.
So he was like, yeah, so this is what we're going to do with the segment, da-da-da-da-da. And then Cory come on. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm coming on. In my head, I'm jumping. I'm like, yo, you don't even know what you're going to say, but this is going to go crazy, right? And so then I was like, okay, break. Like, they was like, Cory, is there anything you want to say in the segment? You know, I had to change my voice. I had to act like I had a deeper voice. So I was like this. I kid you not. I was like, nah, it's like, whatever you need me to say, I'm cool with it. Just let me know what y'all need me to say. And so they looked at me, they was like,
oh my God.
Snaps. My mom started busting out laughing though.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, bro, like chill, bro. Like,
where did you go with that voice?
So T, right? So then they was like, okay, we're gonna take him to his makeup room, right? So I had to go put makeup on. I said, makeup? I said, Mom, I'm not about to put on this makeup. They was like, just go see, right? I was like, I'm not about to put on makeup. And so Josh called me. He's like, bro, how's it going? I said, bro, they about to make me put on makeup, bro. He said, bro, don't tell nobody that. I said, respect. And so I got in the room, and they had an outfit for me, right? And I was like, how they know my size? And my mom was like, I'll text them the size. But I had already brought a sweater that I was gonna wear, right? So they had like the other stuff, and I brought my shoes.
Corey think he got drip. Let's just make this all clear.
Come on, I got some
drip,
drip, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Legend, you know what I'm saying? Drippy drip. But it was smooth. It was a smooth little fit. So then they had their show going on, and then they say, hey, it's time for you on set. I was like, oh, it's time now. Like, is she done? Like, I make sure my hair was good, everything. She's like, you good to go? And the reason why they put makeup on is so I wouldn't have like spots from the
Yeah.
like light. I didn't know that's what it was though.
Oh yeah, that's the real thing. Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, don't not too much makeup. Like I ain't got bad skin like
Yeah.
that. Don't do too much makeup. Like chill out. And so when they walked in, he was like, hey, what I tell y'all, I told y'all I was gonna bring Cory on the show, man. Best person in sports last week, but I wanted to talk to him, man, talk about him, to talk about his story and stuff like that. So we got to the stage, Cory Smith, man, I had the smoothest walk, but I felt like I was about to trip every step I took. Cause I was like, dang, I still know I ain't got my balance. So I'm like looking lanky, walking, knowing the sweat I bought way too big, but it's all good, right? So I sat down, I was like, welcome to the store. Welcome to the show, Cory. I was like, thank you.
Oh my God, you did not
And
try to do
then,
the deep voice.
no, but here's the thing. I had to go back to my regular voice because my voice squeaked. So this what happened. He was like, so Cory, man, how they treating you at school? He was like, man, he went back to dogging they blah, 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 whatever, right? And I was like, I was like, nah, but... And then, so then after that, I was like, I got to go back to my normal voice, bro. And it was crazy. And so I was like, it's cool. But it was something that I learned. When I learned that moment is, I'm never switching my voice
ever again.
I'm never switching. But other than that, it was cool. And you could tell, like, it was fun. Like, then they was asking me, like, what my grade point average was and stuff like that. And I still had a 4.0. And because I made sure everything was still locked in.
Yeah.
But when I got back, when I flew back to Lake City, Texas, I went back to Clear Springs. When I say that, not the first day, the second day, when the video actually came out and everybody saw it, they was like, oh, that's no, we saw you on the like big fan, right? And so after that, I had TV crews like the news come in, hey, Cory. And so then they watched my game. So my first like real senior game, it was standing room, packed out.
How'd you do?
Oh, I was hooping that night. But I couldn't. I was nervous like the first 2 minutes because it was my first time hooping with the helmet, no stops. First time I'm getting set in the starting lineup, right? Everything was cool, but I was nervous for sure. But after I seen the first ball go in, we good, right? Yep. And then so still learning how to use my body, learning how to play with this helmet and stuff like that. And so, but everything else was cool. But every week, it'll be somebody else trying to report. Every week. But what I found out is how you got to keep your circle small, right? Here's why. Because at my school, I was seeing like people that I didn't know, like try to be like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, I don't know you. Like, who are you? And so I was like, oh, I appreciate you. Like, what's up? I was like, man, I've been seeing you play since you freshman year. You've been hooping, bro. Like, you really cold, man. I love the bands. All right, cool. Like, appreciate you. But I learned. I rock with you. We good.
No, that inner circle is real, man.
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, bro, anybody would try to get in your circle when you succeed. But I kept the same dogs I rock with.
I want to talk about that for a second because I think it's important to understand, right? So you have your day ones, right?
Right.
Like you said, Josh, right? Day one, he was there.
He was there from the jump.
And there's a point, though, in your life where you have day twos.
You do.
Right? Where you do have to let people in your circle to allow you to continue to build and grow.
Right.
And identifying who those people are is the tricky part.
I
think people bring people into their circle who pollute their circle, right?
Right.
Who are toxic. But then you bring other people in your circle who elevate you.
Exactly. So here's a question for you then, T. How do you know when to trust somebody?
It's built over time, and it's built through their character. Don't watch their actions. Watch how they treat everyone else except you.
That's what people need to know.
Yeah,
like
that's it. Just like when I met Chris and met you.
Exactly.
How I knew y'all were like real people who I should be in a circle with is how Chris treats, how he treated me. The business that he was on was the same wavelength. We were in the same mindset about how we grow. And I think that's what's important. And we support each other in our growth. Jushoop was born, right? I was around with Chris. It used to be CJ5, right? I was there during days, and then Jushoop came along, and he was like, "Y'all, the brand's about to be Jushoop." And then around the same time is when I started taking core a little more serious.
I remember.
And we, Chris is training NBA players and doing things on a larger scale.
But y'all both started launching at the same time.
That's it.
And so
that's a good example versus someone who I may have been in a trainer with or partnered with in something or whatever it is, where the way they wanted to grow wasn't the same as mine. And so you look at people's life or their character and how they do things and where they're headed and how they are working to where they're headed. I don't want anybody to give me, I don't want anybody to give me anything that's not for me.
Facts.
Like God gives me those opportunities.
Facts.
And so with that, if we happen to, collaborate on something, it's because God ordained it, not because Todd wanted it. And I had to learn that the hard way because we around people. We are around power people because of the industry that we work in. And so I'm asking for a handout, right? It's been tempting. Like, hey, how can I get where you're at? What do I need to do? Like, I've wanted to do that, but I knew it was like, no, I just need to grow.
Facts.
And so that circle is important for you to recognize who they are, especially when they're around other people, not just you, and if they're going in the same direction that you're going in.
I like that and I think a lot of kids, a lot of people need mentors. This is where mentors come in, because mentors, if they're really for you, you will see your success like come out of nowhere. Like, here's the reason why I say that, because Chris, like, my day one Josh, like, if I need, hey Josh, what's good, bro? Like, if I need it, boom. But my right hand guy right now, Chris. Everywhere I go, yo, see, nah, this not how we moving, Cory. This how we moving. Boom. And he's put me in a position and he's blessed me in so many ways. Pause. But like, I understand now that what a mentor is supposed to do and how to nourish someone into how this world is supposed to be, how business is, or how you want to incorporate, or how you want to be an entrepreneur, or whatever. Like 100%. Your mentor, if you have, I want to say it like this: if you and your mentor are always on the same page and y'all always connecting, y'all always doing this, there ain't no way in the world that y'all won't be successful, because y'all both gonna get something out of it.
Yep.
It's easy. Reason why is because y'all both building on the same stream, right? People think like mentors is like, they're just gonna tell me what to do. Nah, they're gonna tell you what works for them, and they're gonna tell you what didn't work for them, so you won't have to make the same mistake.
Yep.
But a lot of people are so like, I gotta do this. Nah, player. I'm gonna take the back seat. Tell me what I need to do. And
I'm gonna tell this part of the story because I've been able to see it since at least you moved to LA. So Chris was talking about you coming to LA from the jump, like before you were here. It's like, hey, my kid Cory, once he graduates, he's gonna be here in 6 months. Like, literally knew you were coming, and that's why Core Prep was set up for you to work and get things going right. And it was like, cool, but Chris always had that plan for you. He's like, nah, Cory's been with me. I've known him since he was 10. He knows the system. He knows what this work is about. He's a grinder. He's going to be set up to be in that position of protege. He knew it before. He was saying that 6 years ago. Let me say, he's saying that 6 years ago, right? And then when you come here, what you did is hard to do. Whatever Chris asked you to do on that court and within the business, you were like, yep. And it came at a huge sacrifice. 18-hour days. Not lying. On the court for 18 hours a day.
I remember telling you the first time. I said, Todd, what do I need to do for my feet? I remember that. Yes. Todd was like, what are you talking about? I was like, he said, bro, you need to get some soles. I said, you're right.
Get some soles and roll your feet. Roll your feet. Because we were on the court and there is no, this past pre-draft, right? The young boys came in. And we can, go to at 8 a.m. Right. Cory come in, yo, what's up? We here, yo, blah, blah, blah. And they like, yo, why you got so much energy? I'm like, yo, Cory. I said, y'all don't know Cory. I said, Cory is just happy to be alive.
People gotta understand that.
He's had 4 brain surgeries. They're like, what? I remember I told Noah. Noah was like, what? Like, go ask him what happened.
Yeah, he did.
I said, the energy that he has is because he is grateful for just life and just to be here. The energy he shows. If y'all see Cory on the court, y'all know his energy is bald heads. If y'all know what the bald head is in the workout, it's a bald head every time, because there, like you said, you take for what's right in front of you and you work at it, man.
Right.
I hope you get sleep one day. I really hope you do, brother, because that's important for you too.
Man, when I say I'll go to sleep at 12:30, wake up at 4:30, 4:45, and I just keep it moving. But here's the reason why though, is I feel like, and I know I'm not saying I'm a health guy, and I'm not saying I'm a health expert, but I feel like sometimes I'm not human, in the sense of I feel like I only need like 4 hours of sleep to operate. And I know it's wrong. I know it's not right. So all y'all about to come at me talking about,
I think
no,
it's
you
different.
need 6, 7, 8 hours. What you think?
My studies that I've researched, right, because I'm huge on this sleep stuff right now, is that each person needs a different amount. Now, you're probably functioning off of 4, where right now at your age and the responsibilities you have.
Right.
Once you start getting married and have kids, that's going to change.
Facts.
Right? Where different factors just happen in your life, those things change. And my advice to you now is to find out how much sleep you need. They have the technology that you could just literally wear when you sleep to let you know if you're fully.
I finally got me an Oura ring.
There you go.
I'm not wearing it today though.
You can use that. They have the Whoop. It's a bracelet that you wear where it literally is all. It's focused on how much rest you need and if it's proper. And so there's ways to measure if you're getting enough rest for you. You stay on the grind, but also you're to the point now. You've grinded so hard in this game that you have the opportunity now to time manage again.
Right.
That's what you were great at when you were young. You time managed. And so get back to that, brother. That's some good
I appreciate
advice
that.
for you, because you can do it.
Yeah, I've learned time, resources, health. 3 things people
Yeah,
always
health is number 1.
respect. Health,
Yeah.
time, and resources. It's never about money. It will never, ever be about money. Your health is the number 1 thing, because you can't enjoy your life without good health. Number 2, time. Your time is everything. How you spend your time is how people say, I'm wasting time, or you're never wasting time if you understand how to manage your time, right? What you're telling me to do. And number 3, resources. If I build connections, right, those connections will help me get resources to places I never even thought of, right?
Like Japan or
Like
Africa.
Japan, Africa, Paris, places I never thought I'd ever be.
Yeah.
I put it on my wish list and in my vision board, like people write
I got to
out.
stop you because we jumped your whole life. So, because I think this is an important part.
Right.
You still became a college player.
Right.
You still played in college. So, just a brief little thing about your college experience and what that was like.
Playing in college was a lot of fun. Getting to travel, going to play against some different teams, different competition.
Where'd you play at?
I played at Concordia University.
Okay.
And so being able to play at one of the highest levels, because a lot of people don't get to play college basketball.
Yep.
That's actually a privilege. And, you should never take it for granted. If you ever have the opportunity, you take it no matter where it's at.
Yep.
And so the second thing I learned playing college basketball is that you really have to learn how to have self-discipline. Here's why. A lot of my teammates, I'm not calling out no names, a lot of my teammates after season will slow down going to classes. Because, when you're in college, you're on your own, right? And so you have to have self-discipline to keep working out, to keep showing up on time, to keep showing up to where you're supposed to be. So if you committed to something, you stay committed, and it takes a lot of self-discipline, a lot of consistency, and a lot of, a lot of respect that you have for yourself to actually be a college athlete or just a business person or just a great human being, right? Mm-hmm. Because what I've learned from college and playing basketball and that experience is that, games come and go really fast. But the moments you have in practice, the moments you have on road trips that people don't talk about, the moments when you giggling and laughing when you're walking into the hotel, or you're tired coming from one of the long road trips, or you're flying. Because I remember we was in Colorado, right? It's cold. We got out, because we had time, we got out and had a snowball fight. Those are the type of moments that I experienced playing college basketball. Yeah. Those are the moments that I love. I love my basketball moments, hitting game winners. I've had 2 or 3 game winners in college. And so, because I can shoot the rock. But
you can keep talking about this.
Put it out there. But it's those moments that you live for. People live for moments. You watch moments. Stay in the moment. Stay present in the moment. And so in college, it goes by so fast. Like I was talking to Karina yesterday. I was like, man, I feel old. She was like, why? She was like, because I really thought those kids was in high school and they look older. And they was like, well, they're just like 1 year, 2 year in college. Like, yeah, I know I feel old.
Yeah,
like the reason why though is because when I see other people and I see their age, I can actually see myself. Like, dang, I used to be that young. I remember what I used to do when I was that young.
That's
right?
how, yeah, listen.
And so it's
my 20-year reunion is this year.
That's great. My 10 years this year.
Yeah, so you young.
I know.
Yeah,
but
so stop saying
when
that.
I see them, I'm like, yo. That's why I be like, Father Time, you a different brother, my brother. You're a different
brother, my brother.
Oh my goodness, like it. But it really makes you think, like, yo, like when I was in college, I'm like, every game made me realize, like, I'm just gonna play 1 minute. I'm playing as hard as I can. He's gonna take me out, so whatever, right? I'm playing 5 minutes as hard as I can. I'm not leaving anything on the court. Yeah. If I come out, but I never let a turnover, a missed jump shot, whatever, get to me because I knew at the end, when I get taken out, I go back to 0-0 in my head. Yeah. So I can't hold nothing from the last time I was in. Yeah. So I give myself an automatic reset.
You need to do that when these NBA players give you buckets. Because you be getting hot. Yo, watch the film, y'all. He's telling the truth. I've never seen Cory complain about anything in life, and he gets past stuff really, really fast. A very graceful and forgetful heart. Until somebody gives him buckets, he takes it personal. He don't care who it is.
Hey, bro, that's the competitor.
He gets so
you gotta be a competitor. Like, now let's think about this though. You know, those players are 1 in a million. They're rare, right? They're the 1%ers.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Right, being an athlete like that, making millions like that, they're 1%ers. So when I go at them, I'm like, man, you ain't gonna get me like that, dog. I see what you do out there, man. I know what you do. And with our shadow boxing, I know where you got to be at, right? So when we shadow box and we train, we force players into things that we want them to work on. So when they see that scenario in the game, they understand how to read, react, and make the right decision, right? Because everything in basketball is decision-based off of different scenarios. And so that's what we do in shadow box. But sometimes I'm going to just test I'm going to test you out, pause, and see like, yo, can you fight, right? And so I might change my move. Hey, 5, 4, and then we playing. But that's the best part about training. Yes. Is you get to hoop. Yeah. Like nowadays, training is like, let's go, boom, boom, boom. But it's changing. I can see on Instagram people are changing the way they train, which I love because I want everybody to have the best experience. I hate on nobody. I hate on no trainers. I've learned from different trainers. I haven't just learned from Chris. I learned from you. I learned from Zach. I learned from Kyle, big dog. Shout out to Kyle. I've learned from those guys. Because if you're not humble enough to learn, you could never get better yourself.
Yeah, talk about it.
And so it's never been a fight with coaches. The fight with you is you versus you. Yeah. Right? Shout out, go see Just Win. Go see all the 10 minutes to win. But it's real. Like, it's really you versus you. I never have to compete with anybody because they never run my race. Yeah. And I'll never run theirs.
Yeah, your race is different, man.
Exactly.
Ain't nobody else have gone
what
through
Drake
what
say,
you're going
it's
through.
a marathon, not a sprint, but I still got to win the race.
Yep.
And so I'm always focused on what do I do now? What am I supposed to do? How can I continue my race?
Beautiful, man. So let's talk about it, man. So you moved to LA and you become a NBA trainer. Like thrown into the fire. We talk about we started at 6 a.m., finished at 6 p.m. every day. What was that like, just jumping into this?
I remember my first time, right? Me and my sister came out, right? And I think this is when I first met you. And so we had Andrew Harrison and the brothers training, the Harrison twins, and they was training. And I walked into the gym. I'm excited. I'm seeing who I'm seeing. I'm like, yo, I played against them. I know. I mean, I'm not starstruck. I'm like, okay, I played against them, right? Cool. And then Chris was like, yo, what you doing? I said, I just got here. What are you mad at me for? Put your shoes on, let's go. I said, oh, put my shoes on. I'm thinking I'm about to rebound. No, play defense. I said, time out. Wait a minute. Pause. Hold on, player. What you need me to do to play defense? I don't even know what we're working on. He said, and then if I mess up, Cory, what you doing? And then
first 2 years was rough, boy.
I'm like, I'm like, man, can a brother get a break? Like, I just got here. I literally just got off the plane, put my stuff down in the hotel. I'm texting this man, and this is when I think he just got the Apple Watch, right? Because he was typing, yo. I'm like, I can't even hear what he said. Like, I don't even know. Send me the address. I'm sending you the address. Boom. And he had somebody send the address. I got there. Yo, we going. Boom, boom, boom. And so getting thrown into the fire like that was probably one of the hardest things when I first came up here. And that was just the first week I just came up here, like for the first 2 or 3 days. And then the last day, I started getting the hang of things. But I knew I didn't know what was going on. He kept telling me this. You got 5 years, man. You got 10 more years, dog. But you're not even there yet, man. You don't even know. You don't even know what you're going to know. And back then, I was like, man, you ain't going to take me 5 years. When I first came out here, the first week, and I came at the end, right? So I was still learning it, and we was working with all the guys we was working with and stuff like that. And I'm learning how to shadow box. And I'm like, yo, this is totally different. Like,
Yeah, man.
And like, no. I'm like, no, like people be like, man, I know you really don't know how to train until you've seen the OGs train. Like people take for granted like what real training is. Like, not because you don't know, but what you see is sometimes what you really don't see.
Right. The detail in which the game is taught. You have to hear, you have to see, and you have to feel everything that they're doing in order for you to really get this. And, you could watch all the videos you want and listen to until you're on the court being held accountable for doing things the right way. Not only by Chris, who is a perfectionist, right? But the NBA players and their agents and the team that's there. Like the amount of pressure that you have to survive in. If you haven't done it.
Yeah, that pot is hot.
Man.
That pot is hot.
Some people got hot. I guess when I jumped in with Chris, I was already had trained NBA players to a certain level, so I knew the focus I needed to have.
I didn't.
The mental focus, but the detail on the court, like standing in the wrong spot, like 1 foot, I was like, this is real. or missing a rebound. Y'all don't know how to rebound. I promise y'all. If I want somebody who think they could rebound for an NBA player workout, come and rebound one day.
Oh my God.
It's different, man.
It's different.
It's a whole different
level. They be like,
level.
yo, who's this guy? I'm like, yo, he just rebounding is crazy, yo.
Yes.
But I remember like, cause this is when we was shadowboxing. It was Justice Winslow. We was at, I forgot what the school was. It was yellow and black. And I think it was Eula.
Yep, Eula.
Eula. And so it was my first time shadowboxing him because he had to come off the screen, right? So I'm trying to force him in the screen. What did he do? He went on the first one, he went off the screen. Then next one, I was like, man, I'm about to beat him. I'm not about to keep getting hit by the screen. Refusal. I was like, Chris, like, what you doing? Force him in. I'm like, yo, I'm getting beat up on this screen by you because if y'all know Chris be hacking on screens.
Chris's screens are crazy.
I promise you. But needless to say, I learned that it's not even about me.
That's what you kept taking it personal.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so I was like, bro, I kept getting mad, and I wasn't really getting mad, but I was really just frustrated, right?
You just had got done playing.
Yes. So my mindset hasn't flipped.
Yes.
And so when I'm playing, I'm playing real deep, like, bro, like, what we doing? And so that's when I realized you still got to have the player confidence, or not confidence, but the player mentality.
Yep.
But you have to have the coaching mindset.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't mix the two. Well, you can mix the two, but you cannot forget which needs to be there, right? So right now, when I'm playing defense, I need to be a player. But when I'm teaching, while I'm in that player ability, I need to have the coaching mindset of being, hey, I need to force you here, but I got to use my player instincts on how to get you there, right? Yep. And so that's when, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't realize that until year 2. Yep. Year 2, when I got Tyrese. When we got Tyrese. That's when I realized, this is how it works.
I remember because you were in core, and I was trying to explain these things to you. I was like, yo, you going to ride.
Man, I appreciate you having patience. I really appreciate
I got you, dog, because I knew you wanted to know, and we just had to take that fire off you. Like, hey, he just got done playing. You got to remove that competitive spirit to a level of competitive coaching.
Right.
There you go. Like
that's
you're
the
saying.
word, competitive coaching.
Yeah, competitive coaching. And so it was like Cory, stop taking it personal because you're getting buckets put on you. They're supposed to do that. And then in core, you teaching the young kids, right?
Right.
Gave you the reps you needed. That's all it was, is reps.
Yeah.
And then getting thrown back in the fire because you were still working with Chris on the NBA stuff. It was the best balance you can have to teach it and be free to teach it and teach the system, and then going to the pros and learning, right? Learning and teaching over and over and over. And like you said, COVID, man, you was in the gym all day.
Man, when we in the gym, we built the gym.
Right.
But needless to say on that, we was in the gym 3 or 4 times, like back and forth, gym. And then we finally got that one gym, and we just stayed there. And I said, stayed there all day until, like, not when you ready to leave, Chris is ready to leave, right? But it was amazing, and I wouldn't change none of my experiences for the world, right? And so, because if it wasn't for those experiences, I wouldn't be able to teach at the level I can teach today, and I wouldn't have the trust and the foundation that I built with the players, with agencies, and with Chris and with you. And so I want to say I'm always gonna be humble and blessed for everything I've had. So
absolutely, man. I gotta ask some training questions, man.
Come on, man.
This is the fun stuff, right? This is the fun
baby.
stuff, man.
Talk to me.
Who's your favorite person to train?
You know, I'm gonna have to go with the very first pre-drive I had with Tyrese. That's probably be the first person that I ever felt like, cause me and him, we actually had a bond, right, with Tyrese. I had a real close bond. Like, we went out to dinner and stuff during this pre-drive, and it was a long pre-drive. So he'd be like, yo, can I come back to the gym? Yeah, come on, bro, let's go. And so me and him went through everything together. Then he's 1A. 1B, Brandon Boss. I love working with Brandon. Brandon a dog. Me and Brandon will always, no matter what type of workout we'll have, we'll always finish in some type of competition. Shooting ones most of the time. And then, or we'll do something. And, you know, we'll always keep it together like that. And it's been amazing. And then I love working with Zaire, because Zaire, his mindset is totally different. Like, he's so smart that he knows what we're going to work on before we work on it, but he knows exactly what he needs to do. And, you know, he has so much knowledge from his father that I love working with him, because he'd be like, yo, did you see that? I'm like, yeah, but I see that too. And so he's gotten me better as well. And so same thing with Brandon and Tyrese. But I love working with those type of guys right there. But I love everybody, you know. But those are just those 3 I can just name off the top of my head.
Yeah. And what is it about that connection that improves the workout, improves the relationship?
Man, when you have a connection and you know exactly what his goal, and you know his goal, and he knows his goal, and y'all both have the same, are on the same heartbeat, same rhythm, it's hard it's hard for y'all not to be successful, because I can tell you, Tyrese, this is what we're gonna work on today. He's like, bet, I was thinking the same thing, because I was getting a lot of this year. And I was like, yeah, I seen that. He's like, but I want to work on this because Joel gives me this action. And I'm like, bet, let's work this and let's add this. And so now his workout is exactly what he needs, and I'm getting what I need.
Yeah.
So now that's a great workout, because it's never like me. No, it's about, what does the player need? Okay, Tyrese, I see what we got. Okay, let's add this though. And he'll be like, oh, bet, I see what you're doing. Oh, bet, cool. And then it's still competitive, because now I know exactly what you need. Hey, then I'll be like, hey, Zoe, because Zoe works with us. Zoe, this is how I need you to guard this. That's the big. Because this is how they're going to guard Joel, but this is how they're going to guard Tyrese when he draws off. Boom. Yep. Hey, Zoe, I need you to drop so I can come under the screen, and then we're going to go over the screen, because we're going to re-screen on the flip. And so now I can tell that, and Tyrese will be like, yeah, that's what I need. Oh, but then, hey, I want you to play me like this. And he'll be like, so now when he gets to the game, now you look at him playing. And so now that Tyrese has the confidence in us, he's like, yo, hey, can you come out to Philly? Or, hey, Jalen Johnson is another guy I love working out with. Jalen be like, yo, see, when y'all coming to Atlanta. And, you know, Brandon's in the back door, backyard. So he's like, pause. And so he's like, that was
crazy, man.
So he's like, yo, can I pull up to the gym? And I'm like, for sure. And so.
Yeah. Well, so I have to ask you about your most viral moment.
Viral moment?
Oh, no, I know the viral moment. I'm going to tell you what it is.
I had a lot of them.
I'm talking about when Liz put them buckets on you, dog. Had you like a little baby in the post.
Now
Let's talk about it.
We love Liz. Liz is the most wonderful woman in the world, and she can hoop, dog. She cold,
No,
dog.
she could hoop.
She cold, dog. I think doesn't she still hold the record for the most points in WNBA?
Most points in WNBA.
Yeah, like she cold, dog. Like, and she's 6'9". She can hoop. We got her handle looking tight. She got the bump fade, and she's strong. Like she's strong, bro. But what was funny, and I give whoever made this video was ha 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 he he he. The loving basketball, the one, and then in the comments they like, let me play Liz for her heart. I'm like, bro, come on, let's not. You know, we actually playing ones, and this was with the, and I got so many comments, right? Why is Kevin Hart playing against Liz? Why they be like this? They be like, I got a big body they can play against. I'm like, come on, man. Liz is hard to guard. Like, she's an automatic bucket. Like, she's a verified bucket getter. Like,
for sure.
Liz is cold. So playing her in ones is probably she's up there with one of the hardest ones I've ever tried to play in ones. If I had to rank them,
who
you need top three. Man, I took a lot of L's.
Yeah, but who's the hardest to actually guard? Where you like, oh man, this person's gonna give me buckets. I got to make it a tough shot.
Okay, number one.
You give your three. I'm gonna give you my three. So go ahead.
Number one, I'm gonna have to go with Darius Garland.
Okay, that's my number one too.
Just because when I first got here, I was in player mode.
My most viral moment is DG. Just so you know, that same time Cory was in the gym.
We was getting cooked.
Go watch the YouTube. Stop looking at the clips on TikTok and all that.
We was getting stops.
We were getting hecka stops. We won a few spots.
But
no, they won't put that. Well, you didn't get stops that day. But keep on talking about it.
Respect. That was DG. That's one of them. The second person I would have to say is Tyrese. Tyrese is tough to guard. Tough to guard. He's tough to guard. Number three is tough. I'm going to
start throwing out names to see if something. So you got JC. It was crazy.
JC, I don't know. I'll put JC up there with
B-Mac. You got Trey Lyles, who's dumb.
Well, strong. I was going off. I mean, now I got to go. Are we going category of guards or are we going category of bigs?
Nope. We saying
all over? Okay, pause.
JaVale, who crazy. Rondo.
Rondo's tough to guard. Rondo's tough guard. Okay.
You got Brian.
I got to redo my list. Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's reset.
So I got to go with. I still got to go with DG1 because he's very shifty. I didn't get to play Brian in ones like that.
Oh,
I didn't get to play ones.
I
did. When we played Trey Lyles in ones, it was more like 2-on-2, or I had a backside help, so I didn't get to play him 1-on-1. Okay. I played Tyrese 1-on-1, so that's why I put Tyrese at 2. I played Brandon 1-on-1. He's really tough. Yeah. But I think he top 5. Zaires really tough. He would probably be top 5, top 6. JC's pretty tough. He top 4. But number 3, if I had to pick a number 3, just because he got me when I wasn't as strong as I am now, even though he'd probably still beat me right now, I'll have to say Jalen Johnson or it's going to come back to me.
All right, so I'm going to just talk this. So my 3, DG, number 1, just too shifty. Just,
it is what it is.
Unstoppable. Yeah. Andrew Wiggins.
No, it wasn't Andrew I was thinking of.
Yeah, so for me, it's Wiggs. He's just way too strong, and his length and ability and the ease of the game. And he pinned my shot, something crazy one day. And then third is probably.
See, it's that third one because you got so many people you could think of.
It is. It's great. It's probably Trey though.
Trey's strong,
man. Trey's to me
Trey definitely top 10 hardest guys I've ever had to guard in the basketball game. I had to make sure I said everything. Respect.
Very good job.
But
who's you're not gonna figure this third out?
Well, it's Jalen at number 3, but it's
somebody else is up there.
Somebody there. It's
Tristan Thompson's hard to guard too. People sleep on TT. TT got handle. And people don't know it when you play him 1-on-1. He's hard to guard. I've seen him. Remember when we played him 1 against 3 when you first came?
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Miles is actually pretty hard to guard too.
Yeah.
Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
But he's not the one I'm thinking of. I'm trying to think of all the games that I played. It's a lot of games. I'm gonna have to. Man, I'm gonna come back to it.
I'm going to come back to it. All right, awesome. As an NBA trainer, how do you keep yourself ahead of the curve? You know, you got to prepare these guys for the season when they come in. You got to do pre-draft, prepare them for the NBA. Where are you seeking knowledge from? You have Chris, right? Where else do you seek knowledge from to continue to grow your side of the game?
I watch a lot of film when I can. I watch NBA League Pass. I'll go back and watch games. If sometimes I'll go to games and watch them. For pre-draft guys, usually I'll wait to see who we have for pre-draft, and then we'll go watch back some of their film and see what their strengths are, and make sure we show that and emphasize that, and then the weaknesses we'll work on, but we really want to show their strengths. But I'll watch a lot of film of their college film. I'll try to see if I can watch some of their AAU, but AAU doesn't really show me much.
Right.
It's more so their college film. And so for our pros, though, I'll see on what we worked on last summer. What did we improve on? What did we not improve on? Then I'll see what they actually used in the game. What is their weaknesses? What can we improve on? Then I'll ask them, hey, what do you think you need to work on this summer? I know what you need to work on, but what do you think you need to work on? Yeah. And then I'll tell you what I think we need to work on. And then now we build, like I said, that's a relationship. Bet. Let's make your plan. We make your plan. Hey, this is what you're going to do for the next 3 months. Boom, 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 boom.
No. For someone who, so you've been blessed with some, like you said, you networked, you had good relationships, and, you know, the opportunity with Chris came to kind of push you forward and find that relationship. What would you tell somebody who is looking to be a trainer on your level, right? To be in the gym with NBA guys developing at the highest level. What would you tell them? What's the advice that you would give them if they're just starting out, fresh out of college, just graduated?
Just graduated, trying to get into
trying to be an NBA
pros.
trainer. Yep.
The first thing I would focus on is, you know, just watch a lot of film, like NBA games. Go to YouTube, watch stuff like that, and then try to master and try to learn and try to be very detailed in what you do, because it doesn't matter who you train. You can train a 3-year-old to LeBron, whatever, but your teaching has to translate. Try to make sure everything translates on what you do. And then the most important part is try to find a mentor that's been in the game so you won't make the same mistakes they have already made. And I would also say try to find like a coaches program. Like we're about to start our Jushoop coaches program, so you can learn how to and have a system. Having a system helps a lot, because now once you figure out what somebody needs to work on, that system allows you to have, because you know everybody has to be able to finish, everybody has to be able to shoot the rod. Now, what position you put them in, like you might have some guys that are in the short corner, you might have some guys like guards playing off the catch, off the wing. You might have some guys have to be in a pick and roll situation depending on how they play and depending on how they're used. So being in the system is the end result, right? So learning how to be very detailed and keeps things small first. Don't try to just go to the big kahuna, right? Like I would teach them if it was somebody asking me like, hey, how do I start? I would ask them first, what do you know? Because I need to know what you know first, right? And then the second thing I'll ask them is, okay, do you have a system in place on how you train? Because you don't want to be all over the place, right?
Yep.
Because when you're all over the place, how do you know what you're really building, right? And so, so this would be the order. Try to find a mentor, right? Or try to watch somebody that you see is doing very well with pros. Try to see if you can either do a mentorship with them, or try to get in contact with them, or try to get in the room. Yep. That's the word. Try to get in the room.
Guys, DMs work.
They do.
Instagram,
they do.
Just,
I don't care what people say. People check DMs. I don't care.
Sure.
I don't care. People do check DMs.
I've seen Chris hire people straight from the DMs to be interns all day.
respect.
Yep, 100%.
And so it's simple, but that'll be the first thing. Try to get a mentor. Second thing is you need to find out what you know. And with saying that is also allow yourself to be coachable.
Yep.
Because you might, as a trainer, you might come into the session and be like, oh, yeah, if you're going to somebody's training, right, be a fly on the wall, don't say nothing. Just be like, hey, how can I help? And you do your part. And you learn from them. And at the end of the workout, ask questions. Asking questions keeps assumptions out the way. So now you have a clear picture of what really is going on. Just ask a lot of questions.
Yep.
You know, and the more questions you ask, the more things open up to you, right? And the more you'll understand. So with that being said, mentors, be a fly in the room and ask questions. And then the third thing is have somebody to try the training on. Because trial and error, right? So if you have a group of kids, the things that you learn from your pros, you have to do with your kids. And you have to see what works, what doesn't work, and then you keep watching. What works, what doesn't work, you keep watching. Because next thing you know, you might have your own system of your own.
Yep.
So that's what I would ask. I would say, hey, find a mentor, find somebody you can talk to that's already been through what you want to go through, right? And that's why when you're in high school, they have career days where you can go see somebody that's in your field.
Yep.
Or sometimes when they say, when you're young, when they say bring your parent to school so you can, like, career days or whatever, so you can see what they do, right? So you can be like, do I really want to do that? You go, you see, do I really want to do this?
Like, you're about to be a doctor. People don't know that.
That's crazy. I was about to go into neuroscience. That's what my degree was in.
Yeah.
And then I was like, let me see what this is really about. And so I was like, oh, I love basketball too much. And so I decided to take that route.
Yeah.
You know, so you really got to be honest with yourself. That's the hardest thing in life is people want to be around the bush about things. You got to be honest with yourself. You know, you got to respect yourself. So self-discipline and being respectful to yourself, like, hey, this is what I really want to do. Absolutely. And don't go around it.
Absolutely.
Don't negotiate with yourself.
So what's next for Cory Smith, Jushoop, and just, we know you in the gym for sure, but, is there anything that we can look forward to? Or I just want to talk about you personally. You know, what's the next level for you personally inside the brand, inside the business? You
know, I've gotten better as a teacher, as a basketball master.
100%.
I'm calling myself now, first time, master, NBA master trainer, Cory Smith. I'm calling myself that because I'm getting there. But the more I say it, the more I manifest it, it's going to happen, for sure. But my next step will be doing mentorships and getting into, with my partner Chris, and with our Just Win, being a mental fitness coach. That's part of my next thing. Another thing that I've put down that I'm going to achieve is I'm going to talk about my story. You know, you heard about it. And so now I'm going to put it into fruition and start telling my story and start actually helping kids with if they have problems or if they want to talk, whatever, just tell them where I came from.
Overcoming that adversity.
Overcoming adversity.
Still reaching your dreams.
Everything. And so I'm trying to see, I'm not trying to see, I know what I'm going to do. I'm either going to do, which I'm still debating on because I'm trying to see which one lines up better. Either I'm going to do a book or a TV series. I'm trying to figure something out with my story. And then I'm definitely going to have a movie about it. Now, it's going to take time, and I understand that, but I got to put seeds in the ground for it to grow. Yeah. And I can't stop holding it back. It's time to go. And so that's another thing I'm looking forward to getting done. And then that's most of it. And learning how to be a motivational speaker.
You doing it, brother? Just talk about your story, man.
But
don't fake Chris last week, fool. Chris, you see this, man?
That's crazy. But no, I gotta learn because I gotta learn the terminology, and I gotta learn how to, I gotta get better. And that's another thing. I gotta get better at asking questions, and I want to become a better listener.
Yeah. Amen.
That's my main focus of 2024 is becoming a better listener, and better at asking questions.
Love that. Get the information.
So,
we're going to get to the next part of our show,
right.
My Rushmore. Okay, so it's going to be your Mount Rushmore. We're going to go your top 4 basketball moments ever
That's
that you've seen, right?
okay.
Or been a part of?
The first one, I'm gonna go with Kobe when he versus the Suns. The pull up at the elbow was crazy.
Game winner.
This next one would be Kobe. The 81 points was crazy. I remember I stayed up to watch that one. The next moment was when Bron beat Golden State, coming back from down 3-1.
Yeah.
Crazy Bron, respect. And my fourth one, that one's tough. My fourth moment would have to be, I have to go with college basketball. Watching that Villanova game when the guy hit it from half court. That game was crazy.
Yeah.
I was crazy. I was like, oh my God, that was crazy. But those would probably be my 4 basketball moments that I was just like, yo, I love hooping.
Right.
I love hooping. I love it.
I love that.
What about you?
My 4. One was when Vince Carter jumped over old boy in Team USA.
Oh my God, I forgot about that one. That was OD.
Like, this man really cleared a 7-footer and dunked it, and then almost socked KG in his face because of the excitement. And that moment, man, was just like, Vince Carter's my favorite player. So that, for me, amazing.
It's crazy. Insanity.
My next basketball moment would have to be LeBron's dunk on KG when he played Boston in the 07-08 playoffs.
That was OD when he was at home. The right hand. Respect.
When he just rose up.
It was crazy.
And, you know, just the...
Respect. Man just rose up. It's crazy, yo. Respect.
Love you, Cory. Yeah, so that Bron moment. Next would have to be AI crossing Jordan. I was watching that game live, and AI was, you know, and I'm an N1 mixtape kid, and seeing that AI just cross, you know, then he was my favorite player at that moment was Jordan. And for AI to come in and bring something different to the game, and the entrance of true hip hop to NBA happened right after that, man. That was a pivotal moment in culture, not just the game of basketball. So that was
that was a life
I
changer.
wrote a paper in college about it.
You did?
Oh yeah, how hip hop entered the NBA.
A+?
I got a B+, man.
They hating.
Respect. Hey, I ain't gonna call the teacher out, but it's all good.
I would. You know, it's 2024. There's no more.
You know,
one thing I have in 2024. There's no more tabs. If I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna let it go. Pause.
Thank you.
Respect.
Yo. Oh Lord.
And when we watch this video, if y'all see certain clips and they're pausable clips, just know I said pause after.
We're not taking these out at this point. There's too many of them. Our clips should just be. Yeah,
it has to have a pause.
Listen, it's all in good fun, y'all.
Respect.
We love y'all. The fourth moment, man. Actually, I'm gonna be real, and it may be selfish, but I don't care. Is my moment, man.
Oh, I respect that.
Yeah, one game. It was an adult league, a high competitive adult rec league, and over at 360 Health Club. Man, I hit 9 threes in one game, had 48.
Talk to me nice, man.
And there's one, I'm talking like, you know, Dame time Curry style, step back from dang near half court, and it was my 9th 3. Let it go. And I'm playing against like former Division I players, CSUN graduates, literally had a team in this league. And so my boy Ito, who still plays, he know. My boy Joe Frazier was playing, RIP to Joe. And man, I was just like, you talking about
you was hooping that night.
There go the interview voice, Cory interview voice.
Hooping that night.
And man, it was the moment of like, you know, I played junior college. I didn't play university level college level basketball past junior college, and it was one of those moments playing against that level of competition and knowing that, yo, I could do this.
Right.
I could do this. You know what I mean? And it was just one of them moments. So that's my top 4 moments.
Crazy.
Yeah, man.
Now, can I ask you something?
Yeah, so we flipped the script. I
want to ask you something, brother. Okay. Now, you asked me about what motivates and how I got to who I am, man. I want to know, if a kid asks you, Todd, today, what is your testimony?
You're going to call me Coach Todd first off.
Respect.
Go ahead.
Respect. Run that back. Coach Todd, What is your testimony that got you to who you are today as a man? What is one moment that made you who you are today?
That's a great question, Cory. The one moment that made me.
You know you gotta live in the moment. So I just want to know, what is Todd's moment that made the CEO of Core Prep, the CEO of Elevate Your Game, the man right here beside me, Todd Wilson? What moment made Todd Wilson, Wilson? See, I had to put the space in there because you had to put the emphasis.
I appreciate that.
Respect.
It's gonna give me a second because I'm cycling through different moments in my life, and
It's cool. This is where we put our ads in.
Go ahead, talk about
Respect,
Just
you know
Win.
what I'm saying? So just win, and we have 10 minutes to win, and so, it's a lot about the mental. The mental game is when you're playing basketball or in life. And so I really want y'all to tune in. My partner, my right-hand guy, Chris Johnson, with my other guy, Graham, they the best at it. And I want y'all to tune in to 10 minutes a game. They have volume 1 and 2. I want y'all to go tap into that. Another thing I want y'all to tap into, man, is our Just Hoop. You know what I'm saying? Go tap into the vibe. Go tap into the gang. You know what I'm saying? And we want you to be a part of our community, right? So any questions you have for us, just let us know. We're here for you. But, we're here for the real reason. My man, Todd Wilson.
Awesome promo. Yeah.
Respect. And come back to me, please. And look, you ain't got to listen to a lot of podcasts. You ain't got to, but there's one podcast you got to listen to. Two podcasts. 2 Chainz. 2 podcasts, right? The first podcast you got to listen to. Respect. I got to respect my OG. You got to go listen to podcasts. Just Win's podcast, right? We coming out with it. Respect. He's making it launched, right? We're going to tell you more details of that later. But the one you should be tuned in, and you got to like that subscribe button, right? Like, ding, ding, all that. I need all the bells and whistles, right? It's Elevate Your Game. The podcast, Elevate Your Game. If you're not elevating your game, then you stay the same. But if you stay the same, you're not flowing in the motion. If you're not flowing in the motion, then you're never moving. So you got to really rock with Elevate Your Game, because you ain't elevating doing whatever you're doing. It ain't it, right? So Elevate Your Game podcast with my boy T. If it ain't with T, then it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely got to rock it.
Thank you. Back to your regular scheduled programming. So the answer to that question is when I recommitted my life to God.
I respect it.
And my wife was there in that moment. She wasn't my wife then. And we were living. She was there. We weren't anything. We had no official tag to us, right?
Respect.
But there was a moment where God caught my attention and reminded me of who I was called to be.
Ain't that amazing?
Man, and since that moment, I've been pursuing God.
I love that.
And not self. And that's what we often do, is that we think we know what we have for us, but God has given us gifts and given us purpose that's way outside of ourselves.
Facts.
To feed into others, to motivate others, to build communities, to do the things that he did when Jesus walked this earth. That's what he's doing. He's building community for people to be the best version of themselves, and we can't do that apart from him. And he showed me that through that time. And the dope part is that my wife was with me, and as I accepted that calling, she did too. She didn't continue to go down our ratchet trail. We was on some ratchetry. So to be in that moment, to accept God's calling on my life, and then for my wife to be there, not knowing that she was my wife at the time, but understanding that God was setting something special, like literally in that moment, that's what created
the Todd Wilson.
And then my commitment to that, knowing God more, gave vision, gave birth Core, birth Elevate Your Game, birth the relationships I have, birth the visions that I have to this day that happen. Like, there's literally moments where I'm like, I've seen this before, because God has shown me. And I go back to journals. Yeah, you could call it that. I think deja vu has this like mystic thing to it. Nah, it's God's vision. Straight up.
Vision.
I don't want to call it nothing else but God's vision for my life. And I have to constantly be reminded that everything I do is ministry. Everything I do is to pour Christ into other people.
I love that.
Whether it's said out loud or it's just shown through what I do, I ain't afraid to show it. People know that about me. Like, this is what it's for at the end of the day. So I got to constantly remove self and the things I want and just listen for what the things God's calling me to, because he brings those CEO titles, founder,
Facts.
whatever that is. He's called me that already. And so that moment, it was in December 2011 to 2010 is when that moment happened. And I haven't looked back since to pursuing God and the things that he has for me, and he continues to show me those things. As I grow in him, he shows me the world of what's in front of me.
So that's when Todd started running his own race.
When I start running God's race.
I like that.
Yeah.
You need to nitpick that one. That's tough. You need to tag that. Run God's race.
Run God's race, yeah.
I like that. Man, but yeah, I appreciate that. That moment is tough. Respect.
Yeah,
I respect it, my boy. I respect it, my boy.
2 questions. So you got one more for me.
Okay, so now my second question is, right? Okay, now you asked me about my movies, right? So let's say this. You're having a movie night, right? With your girl, but you can only watch basketball movies. What are 3 movies you're watching with your wife? 3 basketball movies.
This is a terrible question.
It's not.
My wife hates basketball.
Oh.
She does not.
But let's say
you.
she like, okay.
So she does not like loving basketball. She says they're a toxic couple and they should not be together. If I had to play a man for my heart, I wouldn't even be with him. This is literally what she says. I'm not
She didn't
joking.
like the concept?
I want to FaceTime her. I think I'm going to FaceTime her. We never done this. We about to FaceTime my wife right now.
That's what you do.
We have to do this.
Elevate. Yo, gang. Elevate. That's tough. I like it. Now.
Because I say this, hey, babe, you are live on my podcast.
Oh, God.
Okay,
Hi.
nobody, they can hear you, they cannot see you.
Hi.
That's Cory. You can say what's up to Cory.
Hi.
All right, so listen, I need you to tell the people how you feel about loving basketball.
That is toxic?
Oh my God. Do
Keep
you
on
like
talking.
the concept? It's the concept. The concept's toxic, or the people in the storyline is toxic? Well, that's the same thing.
Exactly. The people are toxic.
Respect.
It's a toxic relationship. They go back and forth. They cheat with each other.
But you gotta realize, like,
That's life sometimes.
that's life. Like, he was giving.
They
That's
end
why
up
it's called
together,
love.
and he's on the sideline supporting her at the end of the movie, and she's in the
Basketball.
WNBA.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't see the ending? The ending was cute. They got a little baby.
Would you
He
say that?
sideline.
Hold on, Cory, what's up?
I said it's okay that they're traumatic all throughout, and then they make
I mean,
it okay.
now let's put it like this: Are you gonna watch a movie that ain't toxic?
Yeah, she does.
Yes, I do not like toxic.
She don't like toxic movies.
She on Lifetime watching
Yeah,
the
so
Christian movies?
listen. The question for the day is, what are 3 basketball movies that I would watch with you? And I'm like, that is the worst question ever.
Do you want me to put a new question?
What's the one? Above the rim. Ha
You like Above the Rim?
Hey!
Okay, so Above the Rim is one.
Okay.
What
What about Coach Carter?
Coach Carter?
I watched her.
Sure. Coach Carter.
we
Okay,
too
and then
much.
White Man Can't Jump. No, you haven't seen. Have you seen? She hasn't seen.
What
White
about
Man.
what
I'm
about
sorry,
Juwanna
y'all.
Man?
Juwanna Man.
I haven't seen
She hasn't seen. Stop!
What
Stop! You're going to embarrass my wife. Stop! Stop! Just Right.
Yeah, sure. That counts.
Hey!
Yes, a basketball movie. It's a hoop movie. All right, so we got our 3.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out to my wife for coming on the show.
Yo, you had 2 guests. You're elite. You're elite. You're elite, yo. You're elite. You had a 2-in-1 special. Pause, but that's crazy, yo. That's crazy.
All right, babe. Thank you. Love you.
Have a blessed day.
All right.
You too, Cory. Bye.
Bye.
Man, you had a 2-for-1 special and elevate your game. That's why you gotta watch the podcast.
You do. All right. I need another question though, because that was not for that. I had to ask her.
But
That's a great bad question,
I respect it. I respect it.
and you got to get better at asking questions. So,
I respect it. Let me think of another question. Oh, no.
at least he has weight music. Hey, I like that. Let's go.
Oh, okay. What moment in your life you knew basketball was going to be your vessel to where you are today?
Great question. It was when I got fired from my job in the finance industry, and I started training my kids that I had, like, a couple kids. I was training on the side, hustling on the side, and I started making more money from that, which was like, from that day I started, 4 months after that, I was making more money training than I did in the finance industry. And I was like, oh, well, I'm never going to do anything else but basketball. Because I was literally making more money.
Makes sense.
And yeah, that was right when I got married, so that's 2013. So December 2013, January 2014, like right around there, I never looked back. I knew if I could make money with this, with my love that I have for this, and this is how I'm gonna make my money. That was it.
Man, that's
my
crazy.
vessel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. I respect it, gang. I respect it.
Man, appreciate you, brother, for coming on the
man.
show, my brother.
Oh,
What we gonna do it? Yeah.
It's two.
It's not two,
One,
it's two. Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
what I was doing, man.
You gotta cut that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yo, man, I appreciate you for coming on the show, my brother.
My boy.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on, man. My
Yeah.
boy.
So you got a 24-second shot clock. Look in that camera right there. Tell the people where they can find you. Any encouraging words or anything you want to let the people know?
Well, I'm just going to go with some encouraging words because I know they're probably going to put my tag at the end. So I'm going to leave it like this, okay? 2 things I want you to know. Control what you can control, okay? And run your race, right? What I mean by control what you can control is that when you're living your life, live your life. Don't worry about nothing else because you can only work on what you have inside of you, okay? Pause. Now, the second thing, run your race. A lot of people are going to try to, and you're going to try to be like, well, I can't be like them. Why? Don't worry about that. Your race, God's race for you is totally different from anybody else. That's why you always got to remember you're a one of one, and you'll always be a one of one. Nobody's ever built like you. C. Smith out.
My G, man. Appreciate you coming, my brother.
Come on, man.
That's all we have for you today, folks. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Elevate your game! Let go!